और आज जो है पूजा पाठ का अधिकार जो है आज दे दिया गया कि वहाँ जितने भी हिंदू धार्मिक क्रियाकलाप हैं, पूजा पाठ है, उसको पुनः बहाल किया जाए और एक सप्ताह के अंदर जिलाधिकारी जो रिसीवर हैं उनको कंप्लाइन करने का माननीय कोर्ट ने आदेश कर दिया है। बिल्कुल होगा, उनको मेल कर दिया गया, लेकिन अब वो बात होगी उनसे कि आगे की कार्रवाई जल्द से जल्द, बिल्कुल जिला प्रशासन जल्द से जल्द इस पर कार्रवाई करे, इसको कंप्लाइन करे, ऐसी मांग हम लोगों की है।
जी अच्छा, एक बात और है कि एक हफ्ते से पहले भी पूजा शुरू
बिल्कुल हो सकती है, आज ऑर्डर आ गया, कल भी हो सकती है, परसों भी। अब ये बात करके आगे की कार्रवाई प्रोसीजर जो कोर्ट के आदेश को कंप्लाइन कैसे किया जाए, इस पर जिला प्रशासन से बात होगी।
जब आदेश आया था तो रिटर्न आदेश तो था नहीं, जब
नहीं, अब रिटर्न आदेश आ गया, अब तो आ ही गया रिटर्न आदेश। रिटर्न आदेश में कोर्ट ने कहा है कि भाई आदेशित किया है कि इसको कंप्लाइन करिए, पूजा पाठ वगैरह जो स्थिति थी 1993 की उसको पुनः जो है बहाल कर दिया जाए।
Reactions there coming in from on ground after that big verdict coming to the fore. As far as the Hindu side goes, they claim vindication. They say this is a turning point in ensuring their right to pray. This is just the beginning is what they say. Aranya, my colleague, joining us, getting us more details, putting this in perspective of what the larger implications of this is going to be. It begins with prayers in the cellar at the moment, Ananya, but this is the turning point that the Hindu side was waiting for the bigger claim that they are making on the land itself.
Well, definitely, this is one of the biggest wins that the Hindu side has achieved. This is one of the big orders that they have achieved after that particular ASI report. And very, very clearly, you know, if you remember, till 1993, there were prayers that were offered at that particular cellar. And in fact, there were no barricading, no kind of, barricading was done there. But post 1993, in 1993, the government, the then government of UP had actually, prohibited prayers at, in fact, that particular cellar. And now, finally, the court has ordered for that particular...
सभी आप रो रहे हैं, क्यों रो रहे हैं सोहन जी? आपके आंखों में आंसू क्यों है?
सर, एक हर्ष की बात है, ये खुशी 40 साल से हम ज्ञानवापी के लिए संघर्ष कर रहे हैं। ये विजय एक और सीढ़ी है, ज्ञानवापी मुक्ति का यह एक बहुत महत्वपूर्ण कदम है।
देखिए, इसमें इम्पोर्टेंट बात क्या होगा, ये पूजा पाठ से वो जो प्रीमाइसेज है जिसको सोकाल मस्जिद कहा जा रहा है, अब ये इस आदेश के बाद से नीचे तहखाने में पूजा पाठ शुरू हो जाएगा, जो कि 1993 तक। इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि तहखाने में एक वन स्टेप हम आगे बढ़े हैं और जो ऊपर इसको दूसरे शब्दों...
We'll get those reactions coming in, but VHP's Alok Kumar now joining us on this broadcast. Thank you so much for speaking with us here on CNN News 18, sir. How big do you think this development is as far as the Hindu side's claim on the disputed land is concerned?
I think this is a very, very significant judgment and a very, very important one. The Hindus always had a right to pray at this site, which was denied to them several decades ago. Now it has been restored to us. The basement shall now be open after a week for the puja, and this would also have an impact on the lawsuits claiming the Gyanvapi place as a Hindu temple. I believe that the day is not far when a final judgment in the suits would come, and it would be that the Gyanvapi is to be restored to the Hindu society.
Alok Kumar, we've seen one significant development after another over the last couple of days. I request you to stay on with us. Madan Mohan also joining us on this broadcast. He's the lawyer for the Hindu sides, for the petitioners in this case. So thank you so much for speaking with us here on CNN News 18. If you could take us through what exactly transpired in court and what made, on what basis did the court decide that the cellar would be open for prayers now?
हेलो
मदन मोहन जी, क्या आप हमको बता सकते हैं आज कोर्ट में एग्जैक्टली हुआ क्या? किन तथ्यों के बेसिस पर कोर्ट ने ये डिसाइड किया कि तहखाने में अब पूजा हो सकती है?
जी 1993 से ये पूजा बंद कर दी गई थी और कोई आधार नहीं ऐसा था कि इसको बंद कराया जाए। जबरिया एक बैरिकेड करके वहाँ पे सोमनाथ व्यास जी को हटा दिया गया था और उसमें उनके तहखाने में 1993 से ही पूजा बंद थी। 25 सितंबर को इस संदर्भ में उनके नाती द्वारा याचिका डाल के यह निवेदन किया गया था कि पूजा पाठ पुनः आरंभ किया जाए। तो आज जनपद न्यायाधीश वाराणसी ने इसमें आदेश देते हुए निर्धारित कर दिया कि इसका नियमित पूजा होगी और इसको काशी विश्वनाथ ट्रस्ट है जो कि नियमित विश्वनाथ मंदिर की पूजा कराता है, वही यहाँ पे भी पूजा कराएगा। तो ये आज हम लोगों के लिए बड़े हर्ष का विषय है। जी,
क्या आपको लगता है ये सिर्फ पहला पड़ाव है इस आपके पूरे लीगल जंग में?
निसंदेह अब तो मैं मानूंगा कि यह कहीं न कहीं जो विपक्षी है उनका मॉरल डाउन हो रहा है, लेकिन ये पहला पड़ाव है। वह स्वाभाविक रूप से इस मामले को चुनौती देंगे हाई कोर्ट में। तो मैं अपेक्षा करता हूं कि ऐसा यदि होता है तो उनका भी वहां पे जवाब देने के लिए समुचित व्यवस्था हमारी तरफ से की गई है। जी जी
जी मदन मोहन जी, पिछले हफ्ते एएसआई की रिपोर्ट आई थी, अब ये निर्णय आया है कोर्ट की तरफ से, अगला आपके हिसाब से क्या निर्णय आ सकता है?
अभी तो 6 फरवरी को इस पे सुनवाई है। हम लोग वहाँ पे जो एएसआई के सर्वे के आलोक में अध्ययन करके कोर्ट के समक्ष अपना बात रखेंगे, तो उसमें निर्धारित हो जाएगा कि वो कब तक इसको पूरी तरह से समग्र रूप से विपक्षी ये मामला सरेंडर करता है और सुप्रीम कोर्ट से लेके हाई कोर्ट तक वो जाएंगे। तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट का इस विषय पर भी हम लोग तैयारी कर लिए हैं कि वहां तक ये लड़ाई लड़ी जाएगी। तो आशा है कि ये मामला हमारे पक्ष में ही आएगा। जी
जी, मुस्लिम पक्ष का जहां तक सवाल है मदन मोहन जी, प्लेसेस ऑफ वर्शिप एक्ट के तहत वो हर बार कोर्ट जाते हैं और कहते हैं कि जैसे ये निर्णय आते हैं जो हिंदू पक्ष के पक्ष में आते हैं उनसे उनको प्रॉब्लम है। वो कहते हैं कि प्लेसेस ऑफ वर्शिप एक्ट के तहत ये सारे निर्णय गलत होते हैं। क्या आपको लगता है कि इस बार भी ये संभावना है कि मुस्लिम पक्ष फिर कोर्ट जाए इसी को लेकर?
जी, वर्शिप एक्ट के तहत ये बात आई हुई तो ठीक है, लेकिन उसी के सेक्शन 4 में यह यथा स्थिति की बात तो कही गई है। लेकिन यहाँ पे जो 1936 का मुकदमा दीन मोहम्मद का चला था, उसमें 12 गवाहों ने एडमिट किया था कि वहाँ नियमित पूजा अर्चना होती रही है। तो उसके आलोक में भी ये हमारे लिए जीत का आधार बनेगा, ऐसा हम लोग अपेक्षा करते हैं। जी
जी मदन मोहन जी, धन्यवाद हमसे बात करने के लिए and putting that in, giving us those details of what exactly transpired in court. The Hindu side of course claiming massive vindication. This is just the beginning, they say. Rahul Shivshankar, my colleague, also joining us for more perspective on this. The Places of Worship Act was something that was used as grounds by the Muslim side so far to contest every single decision that has been coming in from different courts of the country, Rahul, as far as the right to pray in the Gyanvapi Mosque premises is concerned. Are we expecting that to happen yet again?
Poonam, obviously the Muslim side is not going to be extremely happy. Let's go first across to Vishnu Jain, who will explain the legal intricacies.
बोर्ड के द्वारा नाम निश्चित पुजारी से पूजा राजभोग तहखाने में स्थित मूर्तियों का कराएं और इस उद्देश्य से 7 दिन के भीतर लोहे की बाड़ आदि में उचित प्रबंध करें। ये कोर्ट का ऑर्डर है कि 7 दिन के अंदर उस बैरिकेडिंग में उचित प्रबंध करके काशी विश्वनाथ ट्रस्ट बोर्ड वहाँ पे पूजा पाठ स्टार्ट करें।
ये काशी विश्वनाथ का जो मंदिर की ओर से जो पुजारी होगा वो वहाँ जी बिल्कुल पाठक जिनकी ओर से बात रखें वो भी जा सकते हैं।
वो भी जा सकते हैं और काशी विश्वनाथ ट्रस्ट भी जा सकते हैं,
कोई भी जा सकता है,
और सारे भक्त लोग भी जाएंगे।
सारे भक्त लोग भी जाएंगे, तो सारे भक्त लोग भी जाएंगे और वहाँ पर पूजा पाठ के लिए, चूंकि काशी विश्वनाथ मंदिर जो ट्रस्ट है यानी कि जो काशी विश्वनाथ मंदिर है उससे जुड़ा हुआ जो प्रशासन है वो वहाँ पर एक पुजारी नियुक्त करेंगे और उस पुजारी को
getting us more details of what exactly transpired in court. Going back to Rahul Shivshankar, who was getting us more perspective on this. Over to you, Rahul.
There are a couple of points that one should make in the immediacy here. One, that we should eschew triumphalism. This is a matter that, as you just heard some lawyers, dates back to about 31 years, Poonam. This was a part of lived history. And I want to go across to Harishankar Jain ji to get more perspective. Harishankar Jain ji, धन्यवाद, आप हमसे बात करेंगे अब 2-3 मिनट के लिए। ये Vishnu Jain is also there with us. Mr. Vishnu Jain also there with us. Both Harishankar Jain and Vishnu Jain have been leading this particular fight to win back rights of Hindu devotees. Vishnu ji, Hari ji, can you please put this into context for us? आज हुआ क्या है?
Before the District Court of Varanasi, wherein we had asked that in November 1993, in the Vyas Parivar Tehkhana, there was daily puja and archana which was going on. A state government misusing its powers without any written orders stopped that puja in November 1993. And today that illegal act of a state government has been rectified by the Honorable Court. The Honorable District Court of Varanasi has directed the District Magistrate Varanasi to start puja and daily puja within 7 days by making appropriate arrangements with the iron fencing. So I see this order on the similar footing which was passed by Justice K.M. Pandey on 1st February 1986 in Ram Mandir case. And it will be the first time in 30 years that we are going to enter the so-called disputed premises and start Puja Part.
Vishnu ji, 31 years later, the right to worship there has been won back by you. Why was this right to worship first stopped? Why was a lock put on the Tehkhana?
Without any written orders, Rahul, I want to say with lot of sense of authority that there is no written order of the state government to stop this puja and worship, which was happening after the enactment of Places of Worship Act, and in violation of Section 3 of the Places of Worship Act. This puja part was stopped, and today that puja part has been restored by the District Court of Varanasi. So it's a very major development in Gyanvyapi case.
There are many witnesses, Vishnu ji, many witnesses that have actually testified to the fact that the Vyas family had been conducting uninterrupted puja for decades altogether at this place.
Yes, you are absolutely right. There are a lot of witnesses who have given this testimony that in that premises in question, puja part was going on, and today the illegal act which was conducted by a state government in November 1993 must be restored, was our demand which has been allowed by the Supreme Court.
Vishnu ji, you have equated this momentous decision today to what had happened in 86 in regards to the Ayodhya Ram Mandir case. Can you elaborate on that?
In Ayodhya Ram Mandir case, the Justice K.M. Pandey, the District Judge of Varanasi, for the first time on 1st February 1986, ordered for opening of locks. So today I see this same order on the same footing in Gyanvapi case.
Vishnu ji, the other side constantly invokes the Places of Worship Act.
The Places of Worship Act applies in our favor. In violation of Section 3, Rahul, our puja part was stopped. Places of Worship Act was enacted in July 1991, and Section 3 gave a mandate that Places of Worship Act should not be violated. In violation of Places of Worship Act, the state government had to stop that puja part.
Vishnu ji, what happens next?
Now we are going to approach the district administration for immediate compliance of this order, and I would request the state government to immediately comply with the order of the district magistrate.
There was a development also today where the Muslim side has been issued a notice. Okay, I think we might have lost Vishnu Shankar Jain there. Poonam, just to give you a bit of a sense of what has actually transpired, Vishnu Shankar Jain is right, of course, when he invokes rhetorically that this moment is similar to the one that dates back to 1986 when the Ayodhya DM there passed orders to unlock the premises to allow the Hindu side to offer prayers. So there is a parallel. Of course, the two cases are very different. Here there is material evidence, historical evidence to suggest that there was a temple fully functional and it has been obviously committed to lived history, and that temple was destroyed on the instructions, specific instructions of Aurangzeb. In the Ayodhya matter, while there were of course historical truths, the one area where there was an ambiguity was whether the temple that was destroyed at the same time to construct a mosque. So that is something that was not very well clarified by the ASI. The ASI said that look, a temple was destroyed. Whether it was the Ram temple at that very moment that was destroyed to build the Babri Masjid is still not clear. And that's one of the things that of course the Muslim side in this particular case has also invoked, and of course in the overarching Ayodhya verdict has also invoked. We must eschew triumphalism, of course. There will be celebrations in the Gyanvapi, in Kashi today, and of course the right to restore puja etc. will perhaps be committed in a week or so. But Poonam, the fundamental fact about, now let me take you through Section 3 of the Places of Worship Act. This is rather important. It says nothing contained in subsection 1 and subsection 2 shall apply to any place of worship referred to in the said subsection which is an ancient and historical monument or an archaeological site or remains covered by the Ancient Monuments and Archaeological Sites and Remains Act of 1958. What does this mean? That anything that is over 100 years old, any particular installation, place of worship, more than 100 years old, is exempted from the Places of Worship Act. So a large number of lawyers and stakeholders in this particular case are arguing that the Gyanvapi Mosque complex being deemed much older than 100 years. There is enough historical evidence as well as now an ASI report to suggest this, will be exempted from the Places of Worship Act of 1991. So this is really a point that is constantly brought up legally. Poonam.
Right, now this of course is a big step as far as the larger issue of the dispute is concerned. That is exactly what the petitioners have also been pointing to. The ASI report that came out, that was made public last week, now at least one part opened up for prayers to be offered. We're also going to be seeing the barricading that's in front of Nandi that is going to be removed. That was what was obstructing the view of Nandi to Kashi Vishwanath, to the shivling inside. That is also now going to be removed, is what we're given to understand. So as far as the Hindu side and their petition for right to pray at that particular area is concerned, that is definitely a big push in the larger picture. Now you've been also speaking to Vishnu Jain of what the next steps are going to be. But we've seen, Rahul, how in the past, every single time the local court gives out a verdict that has been in favor of the Hindu side, the Muslim side goes rushing to the Supreme Court, as is their right to do so. We have a 1 week window even now for this particular order to be complied with. That's long enough time for them to go knocking on the Supreme Court's door.
Actually, Poonam, as you rightly said, that is within their right to actually approach the Supreme Court or any other higher court to seek redressal. And I think that the best thing for this entire matter is that it is being resolved through the courts. So no one can fault anyone by suggesting there is arbitrariness or there is majoritarian pressure, etc. The courts are doing their job. They are assessing each and every bit of evidence that is being placed before them. And obviously, Poonam, taking all these evidences and other perhaps eyewitness claims as well as other testimonials into account, these orders are being passed, which is obviously creating the impression the Hindu side is getting relief. But the Hindu side continues to insist that mere restoration of the right to pray is not what they are actually seeking. They want the entire site back because this is one of the fundamental sites, extremely consequential to the expression of the Hindu faith. And therefore, there is also a larger debate going on within the Hindu ecosphere as to how many sites can they continue to litigate upon. There is one side that says that, look, all 40,000 or 30,000 disputed temples should be handed back. Another side says, for example, the RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat has come out and said that, look, Ayodhya, Mathura, Kashi are extremely consequential for Hindus, and beyond that we don't need to go around with a spade digging up other sites, because then it will be an unending cycle of recrimination leading to perhaps a fracture in Hindu-Muslim relations. But those are the views that are contending right now in the ecosphere. In the court, these arguments don't really matter. What matters is the evidence that you bring to bear to strengthen your case or to argue your point. And as of now, it appears that the Hindu side has been able to marshal an array of facts. Remember, and this is also very consequential, that in this particular matter, in this Gyanvapi matter, the Muslim side has not been able to show the Waqf Act documents that make it kosher for the community to construct a masjid. And this is also something that has been cited by the Supreme Court and by other courts as a lacuna in the entire process of arguments that has been brought forth by the Muslim side. So there are a large number of issues here that need to be addressed before anyone can claim with triumph, victory, etc. And that should in any case be eschewed. And I think the political response to this ongoing imbroglio has also been quite muted. As you might have noticed, even the BJP has said the matters are in court. We are ready for this matter to be resolved by the court. In manifesto after manifesto, the BJP that had promised to deliver Ayodhya had also said that they would wait for the courts to settle and resolve these that specific dispute, and that is a view that they have maintained going forward with regards to both Kashi and Mathura. Poonam.
Right, now speaking of Kashi and this particular dispute, the Wazukhana was kept out of the ASI survey purview. What the report and what the findings came out last week pointed out that there are remnants of a temple that existed, and there's more than enough evidence to prove to that. The Wazukhana should be surveyed next was the plea that the Hindu side is going to be making. Now on the back of the wins, if you will, that they have received over the last 1 week, they are definitely going to be pushing forth with that now.
Yes, absolutely. That matter was raised, in fact, in court, and the court has issued notices to the Intizamiya, which is, of course, the committee that manages the Gyanvapi Mosque, seeking a response from them. I think it's a 2-week period that they've been given. If I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong, I'll need to cross-verify that, to respond as to why the Wazukhana should be left beyond the ambit of the ASI survey. So the Hindu side is now pressing for the survey of the Wazukhana. As you know, the Wazukhana is a big tank, and in that tank, a shivling-like structure was deemed to have been found, and that was done. That original survey was, of course, conducted by the DM earlier, if you remember, where he came in and he had done a survey. That survey report was, of course, set aside as the court went ahead and asked the ASI to conduct a survey on all areas except for the Wazukhana. The Wazukhana, of course, locked. Just a few weeks back, the court ordered for the cleaning of the Wazukhana. I think that was the Supreme Court that came in and ordered that the Wazukhana needed to be cleaned. So that is an ongoing, of course, parallel track in this particular matter. But yes, the next step would be to secure an ASI survey of the Wazukhana. Poonam.
The ASI report is out, remnants of the temple, the scriptures, notings on the walls, the idols that were found, all of which were in that ASI report that came out last week. Today we have the local court coming out and handing out another win for the Hindu side. Prayers will now be offered in the cellar, which is the Tehkhana inside the Gyanvapi Mosque. A 1-week deadline has been set by the local court for the administration to ensure that there is no untoward incident, that all arrangements are put in place as far as those prayers are concerned. This is just the beginning, says the Hindu side, as far as their fight for the entire land is concerned, not just for prayers to be offered there. This does have bigger ramifications also, Rahul, isn't it? Because we also see the Mathura Krishna Janmabhoomi case in different courts. The Allahabad High Court is hearing the case as well. But that's still at a nascent stage. Even a survey and a demand for that is something that's still being considered there.
Absolutely, Poonam. Of course, those are some of the larger issues. But we really don't want to go there. There has, of course, been the order copy that has been accessed by CNN, IBN. It's in Hindi. And I've got it right in my hand. Perhaps if you could sort of read out of it and quote it, it would be great. This is the order copy. These are the operative parts of the verdict today that have come out, viewers. And these will clearly go into, of course, the various arguments. And then, of course, here it says Adesh or order. The print very, very small here, but Zilla Magistrate, I'm sorry, I'm not being able to read it. The print extremely fine, having a few problems. But basically, in sum, what it says is that the area magistrate, the DM, the district magistrate will have to go in and lead the entire process of the unlocking as well as the debarricading of that particular area,
yes,
so that the Tehkhana can be opened. Yes, Poonam.
Right, I'm trying to read out of those pages, Rahul, that you have in your hand. The diktat or the order that has come to the fore from the local court there as far as the opening up of the cellar goes. It talks about how the district administration and also the Kashi Vishwanath Trust Board will have to oversee all of these arrangements that are made. They will have to oversee the opening up of the cellar doors and to ensure that prayers are offered there.
Yes.
काशी विश्वनाथ ट्रस्ट बोर्ड के द्वारा नाम निर्देशित पुजारी से पूजा राजभोग तहखाने में स्थित मूर्तियों का क्रय किया जाए। इस उद्देश्य के लिए 7 दिन के भीतर लोहे की बाड़ आदि के प्रबंध किए जाए. That is the order that has come to the fore from the court, that not only do they have to open it up and ensure that the prayers are offered there as per the customs of the Kashi Vishwanath temple, they also have to ensure that the barricading which is there in the middle, that is taken off and appropriate security measures are put in place, because this is a part of the current day Gyanvapi Mosque. There are going to be prayers that are offered in the mosque on certain days as well. There has to be no clash. Periodic prayers have to happen on both sides. That is also something that the court has asked the local administration and the Kashi Vishwanath Trust as well to look into.
Yeah, a series of caveats, Poonam, have been, of course, adduced here so that there is no active contest there and obviously conflict either. And I think that's a very important point that you have just referred to in that particular order. It is important that these orders are, of course, very peacefully executed, because what is really at the crux of all of this, of course, is amity and a legal settlement. No one wants to impose will one particular community on the other. Unfortunately, over the years, many instances where the two sides could have sought perhaps an extrajudicial arbitration or might have even mediated a settlement has eluded them. That has not happened, and therefore we find ourselves in court. And in court, of course, only one side can win. It's very rare if the judges sort of, in these kind of cases, proclaim orders where both sides are asked to try and sort things out between themselves, given the intractable nature of such conflicts. So, Poonam, obviously, we need to follow the letter of the law, and that is what we'll, of course, urge all our viewers to do. It's very, very important that we eschew a spirit of triumphalism, because no one wants to show in any which way that any one side is winning over the other. That's not the idea. The idea is to give justice, and the way justice is to be imparted is through really the letter and spirit of the law. Poonam.
Absolutely, Rahul. Thank you so much for putting that in perspective for us. Ananya, my colleague, also getting us details of what exactly transpired in court. We do have this 4-page order copy that CNN News 18 has access for you, that details out exactly what will now have to be complied with by the local administration, by the Kashi Vishwanath Trust as well. A 1-week deadline has been set. Now, this order copy, Ananya, also goes on to talk about why the cellar has been opened up for prayers. It also goes on to talk of how until 1993 prayers were periodically offered there by the Vyas family, that there are deities and idols that have been found in that cellar while the ASI was surveying it, which is also one of the reasons why they have now decided to open it up for prayers.
Well, definitely, this cellar C2 is something that is called by, in fact, the people in Varanasi, the Vyas ji's Tehkhana. And in fact, until 1993, there were prayers that were offered. When the Mulayam Singh government came in, it used the Place of Worship Act and actually barred prayers in that particular cellar. So now what is very, very clear from this particular order copy is that the Kashi Vishwanath Trust has been asked to in fact make arrangement for a puja to be done there, and regular puja should be offered there, is what the court has said. The court has heavily relied, if we go by the order copy, we go by the page number 2 and 3 of the order copy, we can see that how the court has gone on into that ASI report, that Archaeological Survey of India's report, which runs into almost 863 pages, that the findings of that report has been used by the court to actually reach the conclusion of this order, that there should be prayers that should be offered at that particular site. So definitely this ASI survey has in fact proved as a gold box for in fact the Hindu side, because now this has proven to be a very, very intricate evidence, and that's exactly why the court felt that there is something that belongs to the Hindus, and this particular prayers application to allow for the prayers has now been allowed by the court. The court has very, very categorically asked the Kashi Vishwanath Trust to actually make arrangements, and some kind of a barricading should be removed from that is present there, and that is very, very important to note, because it has been sealed until 1993, and the Places of Worship Act that's been cited by in fact the Muslim side constantly. We have to understand that the Places of Worship Act, and in fact the Chief Justice of India, Dr. D.Y. Chandrachud, had also, while hearing the Gyanvapi case, had said that the Places of Worship Act doesn't bar from rejudging the characteristic of a particular place of worship, though
yes,
it does bar rejudging it. However, for identifying a particular religious character, it does not bar it, and that's exactly why in fact that particular ASI survey was also
absolutely, which is also why now the Hindu side wants to push ahead with a survey of the Wazukhana area as well, one that was kept out of the earlier another survey's preview. Rahul and Ananya, do stay on with us. This is the big story that we'll be tracking here on CNN News 18. Slipping into a quick break, back in just a few minutes.
Friends.
Because the government is not concerned about the sufferings of the people. People are unable to have their meals. They have no money to pay the electricity bills. They have no money to buy the necessary equipment for their children to go to school. So the whole country is suffering. But government seems to not understand the real situation in the country. So we expect the people to rise. The next election, the election year has already come. Next year, this year, people must think differently and take the correct decisions.
No, we are holding this demonstration because there's a government that are bankrupt the country. They have no solutions. They are like leeches holding on to power. We ask them to immediately go for an election and let the people decide who should rule the country in the next 5 years.
Very good afternoon. You're watching Breaking on CNN News 18 with me, Akanksha Swaroop. And the top focus this hour is the Varanasi Gyanvapi Mosque story. It's a big win for the Hindu side. The Varanasi District Court has today allowed the Hindu side to offer prayers in the southern cellar of the Gyanvapi Mosque. The court has directed the puja will be performed by the Hindu side, and a pujari will also be nominated by Sri Kashi Vishwanath Temple Trust. The Hindu side, terming this verdict as historic, has now said that this is a turning point in the case and the puja was stopped without proper legal prayer. Meanwhile, the Anjuman Intizamiya Masjid Committee has said that it will challenge the district court's order in the Allahabad High Court. Remember, the Vyas family has been performing the puja in the basement till the year 1993. However, following the state government's order, the worshipping was stopped earlier. And with that, let's also bring you the reactions that have come in.
Court of Varanasi, wherein we had asked that in November 1993, in the Vyas Parivar Tehkhana, there was daily puja and archana which was going on. A state government misusing its powers without any written orders stopped that puja in November 1993, and today that illegal act of a state government has been rectified by the Honorable Court. The Honorable District Court of Varanasi has directed the District Magistrate Varanasi to start puja and daily puja within 7 days by making appropriate arrangements with the iron fencing. So I see this order on the similar footing which was passed by Justice K.M. Pandey on 1st February 1986 in Ram Mandir case, and it will be the first time in 30 years that we are going to enter the so-called disputed premises and start puja part.
अंजुमन इंतजामिया मसाजिद उस ऑर्डर के खिलाफ ऑनरेबल हाई कोर्ट जाएगी फॉर अर्लीस्ट।
क्या है क्या ऑर्डर?
उन्होंने ऑर्डर ये किया है कि उनका कहना है कि जो वापस विवादित संपत्ति है जो मस्जिद का के नीचे दक्षिणी तहखाना है, उसके अंदर जो उनका कहना है कि जो मूर्तियां हैं उसमें उसकी पूजा पाठ के लिए डीएम साहब जो तो कोई इंतजाम कराएं, जबकि उसके अंदर कोई मूर्ति नहीं है। और जो रिपोर्ट अभी आई एसआई की उसमें भी कहीं नहीं लिखा हुआ है कि दक्षिणी तहखाने में कोई मूर्ति पाई गई है।
किस तरह की आपत्ति आप लोग करेंगे?
अब हमारे उस ऑर्डर के खिलाफ उच्च न्यायालय जाएंगे, हाईकोर्ट।
जी 1993 से ये पूजा बंद कर दी गई थी और कोई आधार नहीं ऐसा था कि इसको बंद कराया जाए। जबरिया एक बैरिकेड करके वहाँ पे सोमनाथ व्यास जी को हटा दिया गया था और उसमें उनके तहखाने में 1993 से ही पूजा बंद थी। 25 सितंबर को इस संदर्भ में उनके नाती द्वारा याचिका डाल के यह निवेदन किया गया था कि पूजा पाठ पुनः आरंभ किया जाए। तो आज जनपद न्यायाधीश वाराणसी ने इसमें आदेश देते हुए निर्धारित कर दिया कि इसका नियमित पूजा होगी और इसको काशी विश्वनाथ ट्रस्ट है जो कि नियमित विश्वनाथ मंदिर की पूजा कराता है, वही यहाँ पे भी पूजा कराएगा। तो ये आज हम लोगों के लिए बड़े हर्ष का विषय है। निसंदेह अब तो मैं मानूंगा कि यह कहीं न कहीं जो विपक्षी है उनका मॉरल डाउन हो रहा है, लेकिन ये पहला पड़ाव है। वह स्वाभाविक रूप से इस मामले को चुनौती देंगे हाई कोर्ट में। तो मैं अपेक्षा करता हूं कि ऐसा यदि होता है तो उनका भी वहां पे जवाब देने के लिए समुचित व्यवस्था हमारी तरफ से की गई है।
What the Hindu advocate had to say. In fact, for more details, let's quickly go across to Ananya Bhattagar, who's been tracking the details for us. Ananya, is this the beginning of more to happen? Because remember, last year, the observation made by the Allahabad High Court was that just because you can pray inside the mosque does not challenge or change the religious nature of the place. Is that now going to become the crucial bone of contention?
Well, definitely, Akansha, it will become a bone of contention and a very, very categorical and a very important order now coming from, in fact, the Varanasi District Court, wherein, this particular pujan will now be allowed by the Varanasi District Court has allowed it. In fact, the Kashi Vishwanath Trust has been entrusted to, depute a pujari to actually carry out these prayers, to carry out these pujas that are to be done there. And in fact, the ASI report has, Akansha, played a golden book for the Hindu side, because this is the basis on which the court has actually given out its order, though the Muslim side claims that, there is no kind of idols that were recovered. However, the ASI report says, contrary to it, the ASI report says that there are idols, there were idols that were recovered, and it was the Vyas ji's Tehkhana is what, in fact, the ASI report goes on to say. So definitely, keeping all that in mind, the court today gave out an order very, very clearly saying that, this is, in fact, the Tehkhana, right. And here, clear prayers are offered. But Akansha, one thing is very, very important to note in this. Until 1993, prayers were actually offered here, and post post the state government's diktat, it was stopped. So definitely the court took that also in mind and passed this particular order. But definitely this is the beginning of a long legal battle that could continue.
Before we delve into how prayers were stopped, which were on till 1993, as far as the entire mosque is concerned, I want to ask you, now that you're saying that the ASI report has played a very crucial role, is that a validation that the ASI report has been accepted? Because if you remember, in the 2019 verdict of the Ram Janmabhoomi case, the Supreme Court had not accepted the ASI report of the earlier times as far as that case was concerned.
Well, we have to understand, Akansha, there was a clear distinction between the ASI report that was submitted in the Ram Janmabhoomi case and here. The basic difference was that, in the ASI report, there were no conclusion to show that, there were, something was used to destroy the remains of that Hindu temple. The report could not reach to that conclusion. But here, it is very, very clear, and the ASI report goes on to say very, very clearly and categorically that the remains of that Hindu temple were destroyed and they were reused to build. In fact, the particular finding with regards to the pillars also has come in when it is said that the pillars which were having inscriptions of Hindu items, which had inscriptions of Hindu mantras, were actually scratched, and then flowers and Arabic structures were actually built over it to show that it is a part of a mosque. However, the same was not there in the Ram Janmabhoomi case, and that's exactly why the Supreme Court could not heavily rely on that report.
That's a very interesting point that you've made, Ananya. In fact, I'm going to request you to continue staying with us because remember, all the reactions from both the Hindu and the Muslim side are coming in thick and fast as the story is developing forward. It's been a big verdict day as far as the Gyanvapi Mosque is concerned. CNN News 18 has been tracking those reactions for you. Let's play them out.
ज्ञानवापी प्रकरण में कोर्ट का जो आज आदेश आया है, बहुत दिनों से सनातनी इस घड़ी की प्रतीक्षा कर रहे थे कि वहां पूजा की अनुमति मिले। 93 में माननीय मुलायम सिंह जी की सरकार में वहां पर प्रतिबंध लगा था कि पूजा हिंदू पक्ष नहीं कर पा रहा था, लेकिन इतनी लंबी लड़ाई के बाद आज ने कोर्ट ने आदेश दिया कि हिंदू पक्ष को पूजा का अधिकार दिया जाए। तत्काल प्रशासन से सख्त निर्देश दिया है कि 1 सप्ताह के अंदर ये व्यवस्था प्रशासन के लोग करें और पूजा की अनुमति का अधिकार हिंदू पक्ष को दिया है। अयोध्या में भव्य दिव्य नव राम जन्मभूमि मंदिर निर्माण, अब बाबा भोले का भी उस मंदिर का निर्माण जल्द से जल्द हो।
न्यायपालिका को साधुवाद, हार्दिक अभिनंदन और उनके इस निर्णय का हम स्वागत करते हैं। हमारा सनातन समाज भारतीय संविधान में और न्यायपालिका में आस्था रखता है। बहुत ही चिंताजनक ये विषय है कि हमारे इष्ट और आराध्य के पवित्र स्थल पर कभी अराजकता पूर्वक कब्जा किया गया था और हम संविधान का आश्रय लेकर न्यायपालिका के माध्यम से उसे पुनः प्राप्त कर रहे हैं। यह संपूर्ण सनातन समाज के लिए गौरवशाली क्षण है।
All right, let's quickly go back to Ananya, who continues to stay with us. Ananya, whether it is Varanasi District Court or even what the observations were while Allahabad High Court had observed last year in June, the fact of the matter remains that the timing of the worship that was happening inside the mosque, as far as the Hindus were concerned, happened till 1993. And they said that the Places of Worship Act came into effect from the year 1991. And since 2 years, all those worshippers were not stopped. Why were they abruptly stopped in the year 1993? So that point also comes into focus.
Well, definitely that point also comes into focus, that until 1993 there were prayers that were offered by the Hindus, and in fact the Place of Worship Act says that, the religious characteristics of a particular place is judged on the date of, the independence, that is the year of 1947. However, until 1993, there were prayers that were being offered at that Vyas Tehkhana, and that's exactly why, the Place of Worship Act argument might fall down even in the Allahabad High Court or in the Supreme Court as well. However, this is a very, very clear order and a big order that is coming from the Varanasi District Court, wherein the Vyas Tehkhana will now be reopened. Their prayers would be offered and the Kashi Vishwanath Trust has been entrusted to, appoint a pujari there so that the prayers can actually continue. And in fact, the Hindu side has categorically and constantly argued before the Varanasi District Court and even before the hearings in the Supreme Court and the Allahabad High Court as well that, this is a place that were until 1993, even prayers were offered until then. So how can the Place of Worship Act come in? Now, what had happened in 1993 was that the then government led by Mulayam Singh had come out with a diktat giving accordance to the Place of Worship Act and had barred prayers at that point. And that also was raised by, in fact, the Hindu side that, this was an order of the Mulayam Singh government that was without any legal basis. And that's exactly why this prayer was actually made before, in fact, the Varanasi District Court. And today, a big win coming in for the Hindu side with, that golden book that has now come to them with regards to that ASI survey report, that 863 pages of reports. Seems to be some kind of a golden treasure that has come for the Hindu side, which is giving them orders in their favor very, very clearly and categorically.
Ananya, in fact, it is indeed a big win, but it's not still completely cemented. As remember, the Muslim side is all set to challenge it in a higher court. I'm in fact going to request you to go through the order copy because I'm going to discuss the order copy in detail with you, but in just a bit. Let's also listen into what the Muslim clerics are saying at the moment.
There is a long way to go till the final judgment will be delivered by the honorable courts. As far as today's judgment is concerned, the Muslim side will definitely go to the higher courts against this judgment, and we are confident that justice will be done with the Muslims also.
On the other side, Hindu side's lawyers are saying that it would be a turning point, just like the Babri Masjid and Ram Mandir case.
As far as the Babri Masjid issue is concerned, it was altogether a different issue as compared to the Kashi Vishwanath and Gyanvapi Masjid case. So we think that we all have to follow the path of the judicial process, and we will fight this case only and only in the honorable courts. And as far as our point of view is concerned, we are of the view that this masjid was built 100 years back, so we have full right to offer namaz there.
All right, let's quickly go back to Ananya. Ananya, you heard what the Muslim cleric has to say. He's just saying that we have the full and complete right to offer our namaz over there, and that we will be challenging the Varanasi District Court's order in the higher court. Having said that, let's now also refer back to what the Supreme Court had to say while it was hearing a plea challenging the maintainability of the Gyanvapi suit. And that's when the Supreme Court, in fact, only went on to say that finding the nature of the religious nature of any place of worship is not barred under the Places of Worship Act. Having said that, if the Hindu side is able to prove that the essential nature of this mosque is that of a temple, where does the case head forward now?
Well, definitely, the Muslim side will be knocking the doors off, in fact, the Allahabad High Court. And, what will happen next is that if at all the Allahabad High Court grants a stay, then the battle will continue. But a very important point is that for a stay to be granted, there has to be a strong case that needs to be put forth. There has to be a strong infirmity in that particular order of the Varanasi District Court that has to be cited by the Muslim side. Whether or not they'll be able to do that is something that we'll have to see, because the order of 4 pages on this application is a very well-reasoned order. The findings of the ASI survey has been taken into account. Not only that, the fact that until 1993 there were prayers offered is also mentioned in that particular order. So there might be some nitty-gritties that the Muslim side will have to find out a focal point, a weak point in that order to challenge it and to seek a stay. Seeking a stay in this order is something that we have to see as to whether or not the Muslim side is granted that. And if at all that stay is not granted, then the Hindu side will enjoy this benefit, will enjoy this big order, this big verdict that has come in. Though, the legal battles might continue, but until and unless a stay is granted by the higher courts on this particular order, the prayers would definitely continue in this particular cellar S2, which is also called the Vyas Tehkhana.
Ananya, what is the challenge that the places of worship, that entire law faces with regards to Gyanvapi case especially?
Sir, the Muslim side says that, the whole suit that's been filed by the Hindu side, not only before the Varanasi District Court, but before the Supreme Court also, they've argued that it is barred by Section 3 of, in fact, the Places of Worship Act. However, the Hindu side has constantly said that, the Places of Worship Act, Section 3, does not bar the identifying of a religious characteristic of a particular place of worship. However, the Muslim side has said the contrary. But in fact, the Chief Justice of India, while he was hearing, he made an oral observation, though it was not a part of any order. But he also, raised the question and said that somewhere or the other, the Places of Worship Act does not bar from judging or identifying the religious characteristic of a particular place, but it definitely bars from changing or rejudging of it. So the Hindu side has a stronger case when it comes to this particular issue of the Place of Worship Act. So how much of it does it stand before the Allahabad High Court? How much of it does it stand before the Supreme Court is something that we have to wait and watch for.
All right, many thanks to you, Ananya, for bringing in all those details. CNN News 18 will be tracking all the latest on this news story. But with that, let's now shift focus over to the state of Jharkhand. All right, we're now learning that Jharkhand Chief Minister Hemant Soren has launched an FIR against the ED officials in the ST police station. This is the latest we are learning. Remember, the ED officials had arrived earlier in the afternoon at the Jharkhand CM's residence for questioning with regards to the money laundering case. And just ahead of the ED's questioning, the ruling JMM Congress alliance has also displayed its own strength as a large number of party workers had assembled outside the residence of Hemant Soren. The line of questioning is something that's going to be very crucial for the Enforcement Directorate today. Remember, the questioning today is happening amid rumors, the grapevine's been rife with reports that Hemant Soren could very well be arrested by the ED today itself. And with that, in comes the focus on who will be succeeding the Jharkhand Mukti Morcha next. And with that, let's quickly go across to Saurabh, who's been tracking all the details for us. Saurabh, take us through what's been mentioned in the FIR. Saurabh, can you hear me? All right, we'll try and reconnect with Saurabh, but the latest we are now learning is that Hemant Soren, the Jharkhand CM, has now filed an FIR in one of the police stations in Ranchi. For more details, let's quickly go across to Saurabh. Saurabh, take us through the latest. What are you learning about the FIR?
What the SSP Ranchi has confirmed to CNN News 18 is that Akansha, that a case has been registered by the Chief Minister Hemant Soren at SC police station in Ranchi, and this FIR has been lodged against the ED officials at Dhurba SC police station. First, an application was sent on behalf of Chief Minister, and it pleaded for registering an FIR against the ED officials. And according to the information received from our sources, this FIR has been lodged against the raid that was conducted by the ED officials in Delhi day before yesterday. As we knew, 2 vehicles were seized and cash were also seized by ED officials. And when the news of Hemant Soren came that he was not traceable, and then on 29th we saw how the ED officials, in fact, the higher ED officials, assistant director of the probe agency, went into his house, and other several officers were present late night. And now this case is registered at the SC police station in Dhurba in Ranchi. Now the police has started investigating into the matter.
All right.
But now we are confirming that the case, the FIR has been registered, is what the SSP Ranchi has confirmed to us.
Interestingly, the registering of this FIR and the timing of it is very interesting, considering this has happened on a day when the ED itself is questioning the Jharkhand Chief Minister. Take us through what will be today's line of questioning, and is there a show of strength now happening in Jharkhand, in Ranchi particularly, as far as the Chief Minister's residence is concerned?
See, the case pertains to the land, that was grabbed. It is said that several plots of land, particularly the army land in Ranchi, was taken by the land mafias over there, and in that connection, several officers of the state government were involved. In fact, other parcels of land in other parts of the state is also mentioned, in the investigation. So the whole nexus of land mafia and the CMO is being probed by the central agencies, and over 14 arrests have already been made in this case so far. So now Hemant Soren being quizzed for past 2.5 hours now. That the questions that ED could possibly ask is about the connection of his the babus, the bureaucrats who are already arrested. What are the connection of it, and if there is the money trail is found, then what could be the possible source of that money laundering, and what are the connection with the ED with the bureaucrats. So
all right, Saurabh, also before I let you go, could you also give us all those names that are now doing the rounds in terms of succession after Hemant Soren is concerned?
See, yesterday evening a meeting took place, and one thing was decided that whatever name Hemant Soren proposes, if in case he is taken into custody, then who would be the CM face? Then it was unanimously decided that whatever decision Hemant Soren would take, whoever he proposed would be accepted by all the leaders of the legislature party that was present at the CM residence. What we are learning is
whether or not the entire party agrees to arrive upon a decision in terms of who will take the party forward, who will take the state forward, we'll have to wait and watch in some time for now. As of now, many thanks to you, Saurabh, for bringing in all those latest inputs. And with that, let me bring you the reactions that have come in.
जो संवैधानिक शक्तियाँ हमको प्राप्त है उनका सदुपयोग करेंगे और ये सारी परिस्थितियों से हम लोग बिल्कुल मजबूती के साथ इन परिस्थितियों के विरुद्ध खड़े हैं और लोकतांत्रिक मूल्यों को हर कीमत में बचाएंगे और जो जनता ने बहुमत दिया है, अंतिम पायदान पे जो व्यक्ति खड़े हैं, उनकी आशा विश्वास, उनके जीवन के मूल्यों के उत्थान के लिए सरकार बनी है, वो अपने दायित्व का पूरा निर्वाह करेगी।
कल आपने ट्वीट किया कि 2 लोग ऐसे हैं जो मीटिंग में शामिल नहीं हुए और जहां हेमंत सोरेन अपनी बीवी को या किसी और को बनाना चाह रहे हैं उसके लिए उन्होंने मना किया, तो अभी क्या स्टेटस है फिलहाल?
नहीं, स्टेटमेंट आ गया कल सीता सोरेन का, मेरे पास स्टेटमेंट है। उसने स्टेटमेंट में खुद ही कहा है कि मैं कल्पना सोरेन को जो है मुख्यमंत्री नहीं मानूंगी, दबाव है हमारे ऊपर और इसीलिए वो दिल्ली में बैठी हुई है। पसंद सोरेन का लाए नहीं और टोटल जो उनके 48 विधायक हैं, 48 विधायक में से केवल 35 विधायक थे, 13 विधायक उनके बाहर हैं। तो उनकी जो मंशा थी कल्पना सोरेन जी को बनाने की, वो पूरी नहीं होती हुई दिख रही है मुझे।
1300 किलोमीटर दूर वो बाय रोड गए हैं और कल उन्होंने बैठकें की हैं सबके साथ। आज जो है वो ईडी के पास वो जा रहे हैं, तो आपको लगता है कि जल्द जिस तरह से आप ट्वीट कर रहे हैं, जो आप बोल रहे हैं, वो सच होने वाला है?
ईडी के पास जा नहीं रहे, ईडी उनके पास जा रही है। दूसरा है, उनको भगाने में जो अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने मदद की, जिसका कि मैंने ट्वीट किया है, और इसे बड़े इन्वेस्टिगेशन का विषय है कि कोई भी जो एक्यूज्ड है, जिसको कि सेंट्रल एजेंसी ढूंढ रही है, उसको यदि कोई भगाता है तो उसकी क्या जुर्माना हो सकता है, उसकी क्या सजा हो सकती है, ईडी को जो है सोचना चाहिए।
एक राज्य के मुख्यमंत्री के बारे में जिस तरह की टिप्पणियां और हेडलाइन मैनेजमेंट हो रहा है, वो गले के नीचे नहीं उतरता है। प्रोटोकॉल होता है भाई मुख्यमंत्री का। आप हेडलाइन चला रहे हैं, मुख्यमंत्री फरार, मुख्यमंत्री गायब। ये कौन सा हमारे लोकतांत्रिक जीवन में ऐसा भी क्षण आएगा, हमने ये सोचा नहीं था।
It used to be said that Jharkhand is a poor state, and certainly the people of Jharkhand have remained poor because whether it is a Congress MP's house where they are recovering thousands and hundreds of crores from, or the Jharkhand Mukti Morcha head, the Chief Minister's house where they are recovering cash from, it is clear there is rampant corruption in the INDI alliance. The 2 things that characterize the INDI alliances, 3 things rather, are one is corruption, second is appeasement politics, and the third is dynasty politics. These 3 things are absolutely visible. Recovery from their own IND alliance partner, Hemant Soren's house, this money and these cars and these Benami properties points to what an exploitative political culture is present in the INDI alliance.
All right, so the political turmoil continues to plague the state of Jharkhand. We'll keep bringing you all the latest. For now, it's time to slip into a quick break. Stay tuned to CNN News 18.
चलिए
जनता
because the government is not concerned about the sufferings of the people. People are unable to have their meals. They have no money to pay the electricity bills. They have no money to buy the necessary equipment for their children to go to school. So the whole country is suffering. But government seems to not understand the real situation in the country. So we expect the people to rise. The next election, the election year has already come. Next year, this year, people must think differently and take the correct decisions.
No, we are holding the demonstration because there's a government that are bankrupt of the country. They have no solutions. They are like leeches holding on to power. We ask them to immediately go for an election and let the people decide who should rule the country in the next 5 years.
Welcome back. Now, the seat sharing confusion in the India bloc continues. Congress sources have informed CNN News 18 that the India Alliance, its West Bengal seat sharing deal is on hold at the moment. Both the TMC and the Congress are considering these proposals, and on the other hand, Samajwadi Party has named 16 candidates for the upcoming Lok Sabha election without discussion with the Congress party. Congress sources are now telling CNN News 18 that Congress is unhappy over this move by the Samajwadi Party. And in Bihar, as per Congress sources, seat-sharing talks will start afresh due to JDU's exit. And with that, let me also bring out the reactions that have come in.
अभी हमारे ओर से तो कुछ फाइनल नहीं हो पाया है। जब देखिए, जब हम एक गठबंधन में होते हैं, जब बातचीत चल रही होती है, तो बेहतर होगा कि सब एक ही आवाज़ में बोलें। एक तरफा नहीं हो सकता है, एक तरफा घोषणा नहीं हो सकता है। हमने कोई घोषणा नहीं की है और जब घोषणा का वक्त आएगा तो तीनों साइड जो, क्योंकि इंडिया गठबंधन में 3 पार्टियां हैं, अगर हमें अलग अलग लड़ना है तो औपचारिक तौर से हमें कहना चाहिए कि हम अलग लड़ेंगे। अब तक हम ये मानकर चल रहे हैं कि इंडिया गठबंधन एक होकर पश्चिम बंगाल में भी लड़ेगा।
जयराम रमेश कांग्रेस के कद्दावर नेता हैं। उन्होंने सीधे सीधे कहा है कि अगर समाजवादी पार्टी को इस तरीके से अपना ही लिस्ट निकालना है तो गठबंधन का क्या मतलब है?
देखिए, समाजवादी पार्टी ने कांग्रेस से बातचीत के बाद ही ये जो लिस्ट है इसको जारी किया था, क्योंकि ये लिस्ट, ये जो प्रत्याशियों की सूची है, इनमें कहीं कोई विवाद नहीं था, इनमें कहीं कोई किसी दूसरे दल की डिमांड भी नहीं थी। तो समाजवादी पार्टी भारतीय जनता पार्टी को हराना चाहती है। हमारे पास लोकसभा चुनाव में समय कम है। देखिए, कांग्रेस से बातचीत के बाद ही ये लिस्ट जारी हुई थी। जब कांग्रेस से बातचीत हो गई थी, कांग्रेस ने एक लंबी चौड़ी लिस्ट दी थी, लेकिन उसके बाद जब टेबल टॉक हुई और इन सीटों पे 11 सीटों पे सहमति बनी, और ये ज़रूर है कि समाजवादी पार्टी अध्यक्ष आदरणीय अखिलेश यादव जी ने कहा था कि हम भरोसे के साथ इस गठबंधन को कर रहे हैं, जिद के साथ नहीं कर रहे हैं। एक आध सीटें वो और चाहते थे, उस पर बाद में चर्चा हो जाएगी, लेकिन फिलहाल 11 सीटें समाजवादी पार्टी और कांग्रेस के बीच बातचीत के बाद ही तय हुई थी। इसलिए ये कहना कि किसी को कोई जानकारी नहीं थी, मैं समझता हूँ कि कांग्रेस के नेताओं को अपने राष्ट्रीय नेतृत्व से एक बार बात ज़रूर करना चाहिए। कांग्रेस अगर ये कहेगी कि हमें 2009 के हिसाब से दे दीजिए, 4 के हिसाब से दे दीजिए, फिर 99 में चले जाइए, तो ऐसे राजनीति नहीं होती। राजनीति वर्तमान में क्या है, वर्तमान में आपकी ज़मीनी हकीकत क्या है, वर्तमान में कौन ऐसा प्रत्याशी है जो जीत सकता है।
ममता जी वहाँ सीट शेयरिंग नहीं कर रही हैं। अखिलेश यादव ने 14 टिकट घोषित कर दिए हैं। क्या मैं पूछना चाहता हूँ अखिलेश यादव से कि ये जो इंडी बन रहा है, क्या उनके लोगों के साथ शुरू करके उन्होंने फिरोजाबाद की टिकट या कन्नौज की या बदायूं की या एटा की या कानपुर देहात की जो सीटें या अपनी इसकी संभल की ये सीटें जो घोषित की हैं, तो क्या इंडी के लोगों ने बैठ के मोहर लगाई है? तो आम आदमी पार्टी ने कहा है वो पंजाब में नहीं देना चाहते हैं। तो मैंने कई बार कहा है कि चाचा चाणक्य ने बहुत साल पहले कहा था कि यदि कोई राजा बहुत ही लोकप्रिय होगा तो उसके खिलाफ, जैसे मोदी जी लोकप्रिय हैं, दुश्मन का दुश्मन हमारे दोस्त के सिद्धांत पर दुर्लभ संधियाँ हुआ करेंगी। ऐसी संधि हो रही थी, लेकिन हनीमून से पहले तलाक की नौबत आ गई है।
honeymoon se pehle talaq ki naubat. That is how the opposition and in fact the BJP themselves are placing into perspective the entire seat sharing formula, which seems to be headed to a complete collapse. Remember, the biggest jolt that arrived for the Indie bloc today was as far as the announcement of the Samajwadi Party's own candidates were concerned, especially for the seat of Farrukhabad, which as we all know is being fought by Congress's Mr. Khurshid as well, and that's one seat which was being also eyed by the Congress party. But the Samajwadi Party did not think it necessary to have any kind of consultation before announcing candidates as far as those 16 seats are concerned. Now, let's also talk about Bengal. We've already seen how Didi has come all guns blazing, refusing to in fact be part of the alliance as well. And in fact, we also have more information coming in as far as breaking inputs are concerned. Now we're learning that Bengal's CM has lashed out at Rahul Gandhi's car attack that took place earlier in the afternoon today. Remember, the glass of his car had broken down, and in fact Mamata Banerjee has gone on to say that the TMC does not indulge in such acts. She said that this happened in Bihar and not in Bengal, and in fact they should go ahead and ask people in Bihar since Nitish has joined them. For more details, let's quickly go across to Kamalika, who's been tracking the details for us. Kamalika, when you put into perspective what Mamata Banerjee is saying, she's only going on to indicate that the Congress is also very much in cahoots with the BJP and the NDA alliance.
See, there are two things which Mamata Banerjee said clearly. One is that she had a good relationship with Congress. It is for CPIM for which the relationship deteriorated. Right. And also she clearly said that she was the person who said that there is going to, she wants to give 2 seats in Malda. They don't have any MLA and Trinamool will help them to win those 2 seats. But no, they were not ready with that, and that's why Mamata Banerjee allegorically said that they wanted 42 seats and they would lose in those 42 seats and bring in BJP. Is this the way they are bringing BJP and they are friends of CPIM, with whom Mamata Banerjee has fought always. You remember when all this problem started between Congress and Trinamool Congress first said that she feels very insulted. On 22nd January, he said if she feels insulted, as all the India Alliance meetings are generally coordinated and influenced by CPIM. Now, her intention of giving it with Congress, she was thrown out of Congress. That also she mentioned. She has a very...
All right, Kamalika, I'm going to request you to continue staying with me. Let's also play out the reaction that has come in of the Bengal CM. Let's listen in to what she's saying.
নামটাই আমি বলে দিই আমার থেকে ছোট ওর গাড়িতে নাকি কে কাচ মেরেছে পরে আমি খোঁজ নিলাম কারণ আমরা তো সব পছন্দ করি না আমরা করিও না এসব করে ফর নাথিং নাটক করে কি লাভ পরে খোঁজ নিয়ে দেখলাম বাংলায় নয় ওটা কাটিহারে কিষানগঞ্জে হয়েছে গ্লাস ভাঙা অবস্থায় ওরা বাংলায় ঢুকেছে কিন্তু আমি ঘটনার নিন্দা কারো উপর আমি নিন্দা করি বিহারে সবে বিজেপি সিপিএম বিজেপি আর নীতিশ এক হয়েছে ওদের রাগ থাকতেই পারে যেন কোনো দুর্ঘটনা না ঘটে কোনো পার্টি মিছিল করতেই পারে
Go back to Kamalika, who continues to stay with us. Kamalika, as you translate what Didi was saying, I also want you to, take us through the kind of role that Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary has played in this entire political storm.
Yeah, let me first tell you also this, that in this speech, in this reaction that we played out, Mamata Banerjee clearly said that she got a message from that Rahul, and she also mentioned that Rahul Gandhi is my junior, my younger than me. That's what she said, and she said that she has come to know that his glass was broken, his car glass was broken, and then she found out that this is in Katihar, which this incident has taken place in Katihar, and she has said that this type of drama Trinamool Congress does not do. Why will they do such things? Nitish Kumar has joined BJP in Bihar, and they might have done it. So, interestingly, when Rahul's car got attacked, was allegedly attacked, as stated by Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary today, when Rahul this car thing happened, then Adhir Chaudhary came out and said that some stone was pelted, and the road to of Rahul Gandhi's Nyaya Yatra is very rocking. They're not getting administrative help. There is no police support, proper police support. All these allegations are laid by Rahul Gandhi. But when it comes to the National Congress, they tweeted and they clearly said that no attack has taken place. So, this is also a double standard thing which is going on between the Bengal Congress and the National Congress. Clearly, National Congress and Bengal Congress are not in the same line always as far as Bengal and Mamata Banerjee's attack is concerned.
Many thanks to you, Kamalika, for bringing in all those latest inputs on this breaking news story. And with that, let's now shift focus back over to the Gyanvapi case verdict. Remember, it's been a big day for the Hindu side. My colleague Anand Narasimhan brings you more.
Joining us now is Shri Nagendra Pandey, chairperson of the Kashi Vishwanath Trust. Nagendra Pandey जी नमस्ते, जय हिंद, जय भारत, आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है। नागेंद्र पांडे जी, आज कोर्ट ने जो आदेश पारित किया है, जरा उसे समझाएंगे। नागेंद्र जी नमस्ते, मेरा नाम आनंद है, आपको मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
जी जी जी
जी आज कोर्ट ने आदेश पारित किया है, वाराणसी कोर्ट ने, कि दक्षिण की तरफ जो तहखाना है वहां पर पूजा प्रारंभ की जाए।
जी ऐसा हुआ है।
तो अब आपका अगला कदम क्या होगा, मैं आपसे जानना चाहूंगा।
देखिए, सत्य कितना भी छिपाया जाए, कभी न कभी वो प्रकट हो ही जाता है। मुझे यही विश्वास है कि जो ज्ञानवापी आदि विश्वेश्वर मंदिर है, तो विश्वनाथ के मंदिर का जो अब तक का अंधकार में डाला गया काला पक्ष था, वह अब जागृत हो रहा है, उजाला हो रहा है और खुल रहा है। मैं समझता हूँ कि ये अभी एक आरंभ है और पूरा का पूरा मंदिर परिसर वह विश्वनाथ मंदिर के नाम से सिद्ध हो जाएगा। इस तरह के पुष्ट प्रमाण हैं, तो मुझे अत्यंत खुशी हो रही है। कम से कम इतना हम लोगों को जो सुविधा मिल रही है कि हम दक्षिणी परिसर के उस तहखाने में विराजमान शिवलिंग का हम पूजन कर सकें। इसके लिए न्यायालय को और हमारे सभी समर्थक पक्ष को मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूं।
नागेंद्र पांडे जी, 7 दिन की अवधि दी गई है कोर्ट द्वारा, तो अब अगला क्या करेंगे, कैसे इसको
अगला ये
सिद्ध
कि इस
करेंगे?
पर हमारी पूरी टीम विचार करेगी। न्यास परिषद की हम बैठक करेंगे और उस बैठक में एक ऐसा निर्णय लेंगे। हमारे पास पूजा पाठ की सारी सामग्री है और हमारे जो पुजारी गण हैं उनकी भी बहुत बड़ी संख्या है। हम उसको निश्चित रूप से पूजा पाठ शुरू करा देंगे।
1993 तक वहां व्यास परिवार रहा करता था, सोमनाथ व्यास जी और उनके परिवार की बात थी। क्या उस व्यास परिवार को फिर से साथ में लेने की कोई मंशा है, उन्हीं से पूजा करवाने की?
व्यास जी तो रहे नहीं
जी।
अब जो उनके वंशज हैं निश्चित रूप से सामने आएंगे, उनसे भी बात होगी। मुझे लगता है कि व्यास जी के वो निरंतर संघर्ष करने के फलस्वरूप ही इस प्रकार का निर्णय आया है। हम उनके साथ हैं, वो हमारे साथ हैं। हम लोग मिलजुल कर पूजा पाठ की सारी व्यवस्था संपन्न कराएंगे।
7 दिन के अंदर क्या ये प्रकरण संपूर्ण हो जाएगा? कोर्ट ने कहा है कि जल्द से जल्द इसे शुरू करा दीजिए।
नहीं, एकदम हो जाएगा, उसमें कोई विलंब की जरूरत नहीं। हम तो 2-3 दिन में करा देंगे।
और एक बार जब पूजा पाठ शुरू हो जाएगी तो फिर वो रोज होगी, निरंतर उसकी प्रक्रिया फिर?
नहीं, वो निरंतर होगी जब तक कोई कोर्ट का निषेधाज्ञा न आ जाए। भाई हो सकता है कि अभी ये जिला जज का है, फिर अपील में जाएगा, फिर हाई कोर्ट पहुंचेंगे लोग, फिर वहां से क्या होगा देखेंगे। लेकिन जो पूजा हम शुरू कर देंगे तो निरंतर करेंगे।
एक और प्रश्न है नागेंद्र पांडे जी, जब वहां पर उपस्थित जो शिवलिंग है उसकी पूजा शुरू होगी तो फिर लोग दर्शन भी करना चाहेंगे, इस पर कोई क्लैरिटी है या सिर्फ पूजा तक ही अनुमति दी गई है?
नहीं, पूजा के लिए जब पूजा होती है तो दर्शन उसमें अनिवार्य उसका अंग है। बिना दर्शन किए पूजा नहीं होता है। पहले हम उसका दर्शन करेंगे, पूजन करेंगे, इसके बाद आरती करेंगे, फिर भक्तों के लिए सुविधा देंगे कि वो सब लोग दर्शन कर सकें, पूजन कर सकें।
उस तहखाने में कई सालों से कुछ नहीं हुआ है, तो वहां पर क्या साफ सफाई कराएंगे? थोड़ा सा वहां पर जो शिवलिंग है और बाकी मूर्तियां हैं उनकी भी प्रतिष्ठा और
उनकी करना पड़ेगा। साफ सफाई हो जाएगी। हमारे पास जो है इतने मात्रा में हमारे पास सहयोगी हैं, उसकी साफ सफाई बहुत जल्दी हो जाएगी और हमको लग रहा है 2-4 दिन के भीतर ही हम उसको इस लायक बना देंगे कि वहाँ पूजा पाठ शुरू हो सके।
मेरा अंतिम प्रश्न है नागेंद्र पांडे जी, आपकी इस वक्त मनस्थिति क्या है? इस आदेश के बाद आप कैसा महसूस कर रहे हैं?
नहीं, मेरी मनस्थिति यही है कि हम तो संपूर्ण की आशा लिए हुए बैठे हैं कि कब वो दिन आएगा कि पूरा ज्ञानवापी परिसर हमको मिल जाएगा और वहाँ पर जो भगवान इतने वर्षों तक निष्कासित रहे हैं या आच्छादित रहे हैं उनको हम मुक्त रूप में देख सकें। और इसकी एक प्रथम कड़ी है, इसलिए इस अवसर पर हम बहुत प्रसन्न हैं कि स्वल्पारंभ क्षेम करी, माने आरंभ तो हुआ, आगे निश्चित रूप से क्षेम होगा, कल्याण होगा।
वहां का उस तहखाने का द्वार है उसको तोड़ दिया गया है, तो क्या वापस से वहां पर द्वार लगवा देंगे आप और फिर ताला लगाया जाएगा?
वो उसकी सुरक्षा के लिए जो भी आवश्यक होगा करेंगे, द्वार भी लगवाएंगे। जो तोड़ा हुआ है बहुत पुराना वो था भी, इसलिए उसको नवीनीकरण करना बहुत जरूरी है, उसको कराना चाहिए और कराएंगे हम।
जी, नागेंद्र पांडे जी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद हमसे बात करने के लिए। आभार आपका।
धन्यवाद आप सबको, आपके सारे दर्शकों को धन्यवाद।
Namaste. Namaste. So Nagendra Pandey, chairperson of the Kashi Vishwanath Trust, they're underlining that they will connect with the descendants of Somnath Vyas, who was last there along with his family offering puja in the Tehkhana before being forcefully evicted via verbal order of the then Chief Minister Mulayam Singh Yadav. The court saying that the Kashi Vishwanath Trust should immediately appoint a person. The Kashi Vishwanath Trust saying within 2 or 3 days they will get the place cleaned up, ready for puja, and they will also connect with the Vyas Parivar's descendants and ask them and see if they would want to continue doing what they have been doing for generations. That was Nagendra Pandey speaking with us here at CNN News 18. We'll take a very, very short break and join you right back. Stay with us.
मोदी
ನಮಗೆ ಅಪೇ ಪವಿತ್ರ ಜ್ಞಾನತ್ವಾದ ಆದರಣೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಐಕ್ಯ ಅದೇ
because the government is not concerned about the sufferings of the people. People are unable to have their meals. They have no money to pay the electricity bills. They have no money to buy the necessary equipment for their children to go to school. So the whole country is suffering. But government seems to not understand the real situation in the country. So we expect the people to rise. The next election, the election year has already come. Next year, this year, people must think differently and take the correct decisions.
No, we are holding the demonstration because there's a government that are bankrupt of the country. They have no solutions. They are like leeches holding on to power. We ask them to immediately go for an election and let the people decide who should rule the country in the next 5 years.
में सामग्री आपे पवित्र जनता अदर
because the government is not concerned about the sufferings of the people. People are unable to have their meals. They have no money to pay the electricity bills. They have no money to buy the necessary equipment for their children to go to.
Welcome back. Now remember, Budget 2024 is all set to be announced tomorrow, and ahead of the budget session, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that the interim budget that will be presented by Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman will celebrate Nari Shakti. He also lashed out at the opposition and said that MPs who committed the Chirharan of democracy must introspect. Prime Minister Modi also requested parliamentarians to serve the public by giving their best and presenting their opinions in a cordial manner. Exuding confidence ahead of the Lok Sabha polls, Prime Minister also said that the full budget will be presented after the polls. Listen in to the reactions.
मैं इतना जरूर कहूंगा कि जिनको आदतन हुड़दंग करने का स्वभाव बन गया है, जो आदतन लोकतांत्रिक मूल्यों का चीरहरण करते हैं, ऐसे सभी माननीय सांसद आज जब आखिरी सत्र में मिल रहे हैं तब जरूर आत्मनिरीक्षण करेंगे। ये बजट सत्र अवसर है, पश्चाताप का भी अवसर है, कुछ अच्छे फुटप्रिंट छोड़ने का भी अवसर है। तो मैं ऐसे सभी माननीय सांसदों से आग्रह करूंगा कि आप इस अवसर को जाने मत दीजिए, उत्तम से उत्तम परफॉर्म कीजिए, देश हित में उत्तम से उत्तम अपने विचारों का लाभ सदन को दें और देश को भी उत्साह और उमंग से भर दें। आज बजट सत्र का आरंभ हो रहा है, तब राष्ट्रपति द्रौपदी मुर्मू जी का मार्गदर्शन और कल निर्मला सीतारमण जी के द्वारा इंटरिम बजट एक प्रकार से ये नारी शक्ति के साक्षात्कार का पर्व है। आप तो जानते ही हैं कि जब चुनाव का समय निकट होता है तब आमतौर पर पूर्ण बजट नहीं रखा जाता है। हम भी उसी परंपरा का निर्वाह करते हुए पूर्ण बजट नई सरकार बनने के बाद आपके समक्ष लेकर के आएंगे।
देखिए, राष्ट्रपति तो वही भाषण उनको देती हैं जो सरकार उनको देती है, तो सरकार का भाषण होता है और हमें तो कोई बहुत ज़्यादा उम्मीद है नहीं, क्योंकि जो हालात चल रहे हैं उसमें कोई बहुत ज़्यादा उम्मीद नहीं। और ये अंतरिम बजट है, इसमें वोट ऑन अकाउंट लिया जाता, तो इसमें जो है कोई बहुत राहत किसी को मिलेगी इसकी कोई उम्मीद नहीं है, इसलिए जो है सरकार से कोई उम्मीद नहीं है।
Well, do stay tuned to CNN News 18 for our live and rolling coverage on Budget 2024. And with that, it's a quick wrap from my end. Thank you so much for watching. Up next is Nation at 5 with my colleague Toya.
So the whole country is suffering, but government seem to not understand the real situation in the country. So we expect the people to rise. The next election, the election year has already come. Next year, this year, people must think differently and take the correct decisions.
No, we are holding the demonstration because there's a government that are bankrupt of the country. They have no solutions. They are like leeches holding on to power. We ask them to immediately go for an election and let the people decide who should rule the country in the next 5 years.
ನಮಗೆ ಯಾತ್ರೆ ಪವಿತ್ರ ಜ್ಞಾನತ್ವಾದ ಆದರಣೀಯ ಜನತಾ ವೇದಿಕ ಅದೇ
because the government is not concerned about the sufferings of the people. People are unable to have their meals. They have no money to pay the electricity bills. They have no money to buy the necessary equipment for their children to go to school. So the whole country is suffering. But government seems to not understand the real situation in the country. So we expect the people to rise. The next election, the election year has already come. Next year, this year, people must think differently and take the correct decisions.
No, we are holding this demonstration because there's a government that are bankrupted the country. They have no solutions. They are like leeches holding on to power. We ask them to immediately go for an election and let the people decide who should rule the country in the next 5 years.
Good evening, you're watching The Nation at 5 right here on CNN News 18. My name is Toya Singh. It's a Wednesday evening and we're starting with mammoth developments that have taken place in Varanasi today regarding the Kashi Vishwanath Gyanvapi Mosque complex case. Now, what is this big development that we're talking about? Just a few minutes ago, the district court in Varanasi has made a big, very important judgment, and we'll talk about it in just a second. But what has the judgment decided? The judgment decided that in the southern cell of the Gyanvapi Mosque complex, now prayer will be allowed to the deities. Who can conduct the prayers? A priest appointed by the Kashi Vishwanath Trust. Essentially now, prayers will be allowed inside the mosque complex. Now, the Hindu side has said that this is a huge win, and indeed this will possibly be looked at as a big boost to their case. However, this will possibly also now be challenged. The Muslim side will be taking it now to the Allahabad High Court. Remember, the district court said that all of this is going to take place in the next 5 days. Essentially, they've said that prayers can start within the next 5 days. But whether or not the Allahabad High Court comes in, whether they place a stay on this or they allow it, all of that is now the next chapter within this story. We're going to take a much deeper dive into it. We'll be speaking to reporters and a panel of experts. Right now, though, take a look. These are reactions to the story.
Before the district court of Varanasi, wherein we had asked that in November 1993, in the Vyas Parivar Tehkhana, there was daily puja and archana which was going on. A state government misusing its powers without any written orders stopped that puja in November 1993, and today that illegal act of a state government has been rectified by the Honorable Court. The Honorable District Court of Varanasi has directed the District Magistrate Varanasi to start puja and daily puja within 7 days by making appropriate arrangements with the iron fencing. So I see this order on the similar footing which was passed by Justice K.M. Pandey on 1st February 1986 in Ram Mandir case, and it will be the first time in 30 years that we are going to enter the so-called disputed premises and start puja path.
अंजुमन इंतजामिया मसाजिद उस ऑर्डर के खिलाफ ऑनरेबल हाई कोर्ट जाएगी फॉर अर्लीस्ट।
क्या है क्या ऑर्डर?
उन्होंने ऑर्डर ये किया है कि उनका कहना है कि जो वापस विवादित संपत्ति है जो मस्जिद का के नीचे दक्षिणी तहखाना है, उसके अंदर जो उनका कहना है कि जो मूर्तियां हैं उसमें उसकी पूजा पाठ के लिए डीएम साहब जो तो कोई इंतजाम कराएं, जबकि उसके अंदर कोई मूर्ति नहीं है। और जो रिपोर्ट अभी आई है SI की उसमें भी कहीं नहीं लिखा हुआ है कि दक्षिणी तहखाने में कोई मूर्ति पाई गई है।
किस तरह की आपत्ति आप लोग करेंगे?
अब हमारे उस ऑर्डर के खिलाफ उच्च न्यायालय जाएंगे, हाईकोर्ट।
Okay, let's go over to our legal correspondent Ananya Bhatnagar to bring us more context on what this means and what the possible implications are. Ananya, good evening. Thank you for joining us here. Ananya, two key questions for you. First, for our audiences who are uninitiated, bring us a little bit of historical context around the southern complex. What does the southern cellar do? What was it for? Why was it shut in 1993? Bring us the context there. Then tell us about what the order says, and then tell us about next legal steps.
Well, definitely, Toya, you know, the cellar S2 and S3, that is generally called the Vyas ji's Tehkhana. It was the Vyas ji's place where he used to worship, and the Hindu side had been constantly worshipping over there until 1993, when the then Mulayam Singh government had actually passed a diktat, giving the compliance of the Place of Worship Act, saying that, this is a disputed property, this is a property that is of the Muslims, and that's exactly why prayers were actually stopped at that particular point. However, now the court, the Hindu side moved the court seeking permission to actually worship at Vyas ji's Tehkhana, and this definitely is a big win for the Hindu side coming in, as Vishnu Jain was also saying that, first time ever after 1993 they will be entering that disputed property of the Gyanvyapi mosque, and the southern cellar, the cellar S2 and S3 as labelled in the ASI report, would be used for prayers. In fact, the Kashi Vishwanath Trust has been entrusted to give a pujari who will carry out the Raj Bhog there and would continue the religious ceremony and the religious rituals there at that particular premises, that is the cellar S2 and S3, that is called the Vyas ji's Tehkhana by the people of Varanasi. So definitely a big win coming in. But what were the reasons, Toya, why the court has said the court has heavily relied on that ASI survey report, and that's exactly why we've been constantly saying that this ASI report can be said to be a golden treasure that the Hindu side has gone on to achieve by that particular 92-day survey, and various idols were actually recovered from that particular site. That the ASI survey report also goes on in detail about how this cellar was used for prayers until 1993, and there existed idols of Hindu gods and goddesses, and this is the place where Vyas ji used to actually to carry out religious ceremonies. So definitely a big win coming in for the Hindu side. However, we have to understand
our audiences, Ananya, I do want to ask you, some experts have argued that though this can be seen as a win for the Hindu side, it does need to be treated differently from the ASI survey report and the rest of the case. Why are they making that argument, Ananya? Could you explain to us?
Well, the Muslim side is constantly arguing that that this is not exactly a win for the Hindu side. This is not exactly connected to the suit, but definitely, perspectively, if we go on to see it and not legally, this is a big win for the Hindu side, because they will be entering this premises after almost 20 to 25 years, and that's exactly why the Hindu side is claiming it to be a big win. However, legally speaking, the ASI survey report has been relied on a little bit by, in fact, the Varanasi district court, wherein it goes on to say that there existed Hindu idols, and it has also cited particular findings of that particular reports with regards to that cellar, and that's why the court has now reached to that conclusion. However, you to understand the whole suit and this particular part is a little different, because here prayers were offered until 1993. So we'll have to wait and watch for the final suit to actually happen. And the Muslim side also saying that, they will be approaching, in fact, the Allahabad High Court. However, the difficulty that the Muslim side would actually face is that, after 7 days, the puja will actually begin at this particular place. Whether or not the Allahabad High Court would allow them urgent hearing is something that we'll have to wait and watch for. And a very important thing that the Muslim side actually needs at this point of time is a stay from the Allahabad High Court. But the stay can only be granted only when there is some kind of infirmity in the order, when there is a strong case that is made out by the Muslim side. However, will that be the case that the Muslim side be presenting? What would be the argument before the court is something that only time can tell, and the matter will reach the Allahabad High Court.
And anyway, we're actually going to come back to you in just a second from now. Right now, we're going to play out for our audiences different reactions to this story. This is a story that broke just a little over an hour ago. So developments coming in as we speak. Take a look.
जी 1993 से ये पूजा बंद कर दी गई थी और कोई आधार नहीं ऐसा था कि इसको बंद कराया जाए। जबरिया एक बैरिकेड करके वहाँ पे सोमनाथ व्यास जी को हटा दिया गया था और उसमें उनके तहखाने में 1993 से ही पूजा बंद थी। 25 सितंबर को इस संदर्भ में उनके नाती द्वारा याचिका डाल के यह निवेदन किया गया था कि पूजा पाठ पुनः आरंभ किया जाए। तो आज जनपद न्यायाधीश वाराणसी ने इसमें आदेश देते हुए निर्धारित कर दिया कि इसका नियमित पूजा होगी और इसको काशी विश्वनाथ ट्रस्ट है जो कि नियमित विश्वनाथ मंदिर की पूजा कराता है, वही यहाँ पे भी पूजा कराएगा। तो ये आज हम लोगों के लिए बड़े हर्ष का विषय है। निसंदेह अब तो मैं मानूंगा कि यह कहीं न कहीं जो विपक्षी है उनका मॉरल डाउन हो रहा है, लेकिन ये पहला पड़ाव है। वह स्वाभाविक रूप से इस मामले को चुनौती देंगे हाई कोर्ट में। तो मैं अपेक्षा करता हूं कि ऐसा यदि होता है तो उनका भी वहां पे जवाब देने के लिए समुचित व्यवस्था हमारी तरफ से की गई है।
The Muslim side will definitely go to the higher courts against this judgment, and we are confident that justice will be done with the Muslims also. We think that we all have to follow the path of the judicial process, and we will fight this case only and only in the honorable courts. And as far as our point of view is concerned, we are of the view that this masjid was built 100 years back, so we have full right to offer namaz there.
जो सत्य रहा वही सत्य हुआ। पूजा होती थी, पूजा होगी, और पूजा जिन लोगों ने रोका था और जिस प्रकार से रोका गया था वो गलत था। और सही यह है कि वहाँ पर पूजा की जो मांग हुई, पूजा के सबूत मिले, इसने पूजा का आदेश दिया, जो जाके पूजा करेंगे। इसलिए कोर्ट को धन्यवाद देता हूँ। बहुत प्रसन्नता है, बहुत आनंद है कि क्योंकि जो सत्य होता सत्य ही होता है, और वहाँ जो पूजा हो रही थी उस पूजा को रोकना गलत था, और गलत को हटा करके सही किया कि नहीं पूजा हो, तो पूजा हो रही है, पूजा के आदेश दिया, पूजा जाके लोग करेंगे।
Okay, let's now go over to our colleague Ananya, who was with us earlier. He's our legal correspondent, to give us more context on all of these developments. Ananya, if you could now take our audiences back to 1993. One of the arguments that Vishnu Jain has made in this case, I believe, is that he's argued that there was no legal order in 1993 when it was shut. Is that an accurate summary of the Hindu side's argument? And can you also tell us what did the Muslim side have to make in their argument about this particular facet?
Well, until 1993, there were prayers that were offered at that particular cellar at the Vyas ji's Tehkhana. However, in 1993, the then government of Mulayam Singh actually banned, barred prayers at that particular spot and sealed that particular spot with barricades, and nobody was allowed to go there. However, the Hindu side has argued, and Vishnu has, constantly argued before the court that, that order was not legally correct. That was passed by the then government of Uttar Pradesh, and the Places of Worship Act was actually cited by the government of Uttar Pradesh, while in fact it had, barred prayers there. However, now the things are very, very clear. The court has said that, this is a place that was until 1993 prayers were being offered. So definitely this prayer for the Hindu side that that they can offer they can do religious ceremonies and offer prayers there is something that can be allowed, and that's exactly why this big win has now come in for the Hindu side. However, the court has also relied upon the ASI survey report, clearly giving indication that the cellar had Hindu idols, and the Muslim side is disputing that fact as well. However, the ASI report very, very clearly goes on to say that there existed Hindu idols and structures there, and that's exactly why prayers were offered until 1993.
All right, okay, we're going to take you now to different reactions. I think we've lost our connection with our legal correspondent. We'll establish that again. Take a look at these different reactions.
जब तथ्यों के आधार पर ये साबित हो गया है तो ये बहुत खुशी की बात है। और राम जी का जो है तो इधर तो राम राज्य आ ही गया है। बाबा विश्वनाथ भी खुश हो गए, क्योंकि बिना शिव का राम राज्य कैसे होगा। तो शंकर भगवान के यहाँ भी पूजन अर्चन का अधिकार प्राप्त हो गया है।
ज्ञानवापी प्रकरण में कोर्ट का जो आज आदेश आया है, बहुत दिनों से सनातनी इस घड़ी की प्रतीक्षा कर रहे थे कि वहां पूजा की अनुमति मिले। 93 में माननीय मुलायम सिंह जी की सरकार में वहां पर प्रतिबंध लगा था कि पूजा हिंदू पक्ष नहीं कर पा रहा था, लेकिन इतनी लंबी लड़ाई के बाद आज ने कोर्ट ने आदेश दिया कि हिंदू पक्ष को पूजा का अधिकार दिया जाए। तत्काल प्रशासन से सख्त निर्देश दिया है कि 1 सप्ताह के अंदर ये व्यवस्था प्रशासन के लोग करें और पूजा की अनुमति का अधिकार हिंदू पक्ष को दिया है। अयोध्या में भव्य दिव्य नव राम जन्मभूमि मंदिर निर्माण, अब बाबा भोले का भी उस मंदिर का निर्माण जल्द से जल्द हो।
न्यायपालिका को साधुवाद, हार्दिक अभिनंदन और उनके इस निर्णय का हम स्वागत करते हैं। हमारा सनातन समाज भारतीय संविधान में और न्यायपालिका में आस्था रखता है। बहुत ही चिंताजनक ये विषय है कि हमारे इष्ट और आराध्य के पवित्र स्थल पर कभी अराजकता पूर्वक कब्जा किया गया था, और हम संविधान का आश्रय लेकर न्यायपालिका के माध्यम से उसे पुनः प्राप्त कर रहे हैं। यह संपूर्ण सनातन समाज के लिए गौरवशाली क्षण है।
Okay, we are shifting our focus now. We're taking you from Varanasi in Uttar Pradesh now across the border to Pakistan, where the population, around 250 million, is set to vote in their general elections just a few days from now on February 8th. Now, till now, what we've seen is quite a subdued set of campaigns from the key players. You, of course, have the PPP, you have the PMLN, and, of course, the PTI, of which the former Prime Minister Imran Khan, as we speak, is and remains in jail. Now, the breaking news that we're bringing you is reportedly about performances, so that the turnout that is currently coming to PMLN, that is the Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz's leader Nawaz Sharif, when he comes for rallies. He's been addressing multiple rallies and reportedly he's getting a huge attendance. Let's go over to our colleague Abhishek to understand more. Abhishek, so far the narrative over the last few weeks has been that Imran Khan by and far is the most popular leader within Pakistan. If you just take a poll on the street and ask those on the ground, they will say that the PTI is the party that they stand most behind. But as you've been telling us, Imran Khan facing multiple legal troubles, his party having its election symbol removed, and now the breaking we're bringing our audiences, PMLN leader, former Prime Minister of Pakistan, Nawaz Sharif, receiving huge crowds at his rallies. Can you tell us more?
Well, Nawaz Sharif has been a very popular leader. He's also known as a very astute administrator as well. And with his coming back and him being cleared in several legal cases, now he is also getting a lot of moral boost as to how his corruptibility was nothing but just a politically misplaced priority of the previous governance, and this is how he is now trying to create his image that all the corruption charges, all the legal charges were against him because of the politics, not because he has done any crime. Also, the kind of crowd we are seeing, because as you mentioned rightly, PTI has now become kind of leaderless. So there is quite a confusion among people as to whom they are going to follow in case Imran Khan or the other senior leaders of PTI don't come out of jail. So who is actually going to run the day-to-day affair in Pakistan? And of course, Nawaz Sharif having been his coalition with the Bilal Bhutto's party, PPP, these two are looking most promising right now, who can actually steer Pakistan away from all the political, social, economic turmoil and major policy issues that has been paralyzing Pakistan and its people for a very long time now.
Okay, Abhishek, thank you for bringing us that peek into what politics in Pakistan looks like as we speak. General elections set to take place on the 8th of February. Whether or not the PMLN will see a victory, what this means for the PTI, many big questions will be answered on that day. Right now, we're headed into a quick break. On the other side, more of the country and the world's top stories. This is The Nation at 5 on CNN News 18.
India's first breakfast show that wakes up to genuine questions that matter in our life. Like, which is the latest phishing scam you need to be aware about? What careers are in demand? How to have AI write an ace resume? Basically everything you need to know right as you sip that morning coffee. So, set your alarms and get ready to start your day with a breakfast experience like never before. The Breakfast Club with me, Sonal Mehrotra Kapoor, only on CNN News 18.
Modi Sarkar.
ನಮಗೆ ಯಾತ್ರೆ ಪವಿತ್ರ ಯಾನತ್ವಾದ ಆದ್ರೆ ಜನತಾ ವೆಕ್ಕ ಅದೇ
Because the government is not concerned about the sufferings of the people. People are unable to have their meals. They have no money to pay the electricity bills. They have no money to buy the necessary equipment for their children to go to school. So the whole country is suffering. But government seems to not understand the real situation in the country. So we expect the people to rise. The next election, the election year has already come. Next year, this year, people must think differently and take the correct decisions.
No, we are holding this demonstration because there's a government that are bankrupt of the country. They have no solutions. They are like leeches holding on to power. We ask them to immediately go for an election and let the people decide who should rule the country in the next 5 years.
ನಮಗೆ ಯಾತ್ರೆ ಪವಿತ್ರ ಯಾವನತ್ವಾದ ಆದರಣೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಐಕ್ಯ ಅದೇ
Welcome back. You're watching The Nation at 5 right here on CNN News 18. We're now taking you to an update on the opposition, the INDIA Opposition Alliance. We're going to check in on how the alliance's conversations with its alliance partners are going in 3 key states. The most populous in terms of Lok Sabha seats, Uttar Pradesh. We're also going to be checking in on West Bengal and Bihar, that are number 3 and number 4. In West Bengal, the TMC and the Congress's talks have come to a standstill. You remember that the Congress was asking for more seats. The TMC was only willing to give them 2 based on their seat sharing performance in 2019, the vote share performance that the Congress had. Now, if we check in on another state, we take you down to Uttar Pradesh, where the Samajwadi Party just a few hours ago released 16 candidates. So first 11 candidates, then 16 candidates. It's been seen as something that's been done not in coordination with the Congress, with a number of their seats seemingly stepping on the feet of the Congress. Some acrimony seemingly being sensed there by our reporters. We'll bring you more context there, but we're also going to take you now, lastly, after our update from West Bengal and Uttar Pradesh, to Bihar, where, remember, the alliance is going to have to restart conversation after over the weekend you had the Chief Minister Nitish Kumar take the JDU out of the alliance. So it's now just the RJD and the Congress entering into that conversation. We're going to play out different reactions for you on the continuing tensions that are continuing between the alliance partners. Then we'll go to our reporters to understand more.
अभी हमारे ओर से तो कुछ फाइनल नहीं हो पाया है। देखिए, जब हम एक गठबंधन में होते हैं, जब बातचीत चल रही होती है, तो बेहतर होगा कि सब एक ही आवाज़ में बोले। एक तरफा नहीं हो सकता, एक तरफा घोषणा नहीं हो सकता है। हमने कोई घोषणा नहीं की है, और जब घोषणा का वक्त आएगा तो तीनों साइड, जो क्योंकि इंडिया गठबंधन में 3 पार्टियां हैं, अगर हमें अलग अलग लड़ना है तो औपचारिक तौर से हमें कहना चाहिए कि हम अलग लड़ेंगे। अब तक हम ये मानकर चल रहे हैं कि इंडिया गठबंधन एक होकर पश्चिम बंगाल में भी लड़ेगा।
Okay, let's go over to our colleague Pallavi Ghosh to understand more. Pallavi, can you tell us a little bit right now about the mood in the Congress headquarters? We've just talked about 3 different states where it looks like an uphill task. Any good news coming in from any states when it comes to the question of seat sharing? Also tell us an overall picture here.
Well, not really. I mean, if you're looking at Samajwadi Party, obviously many in the Congress Party are miffed, Toya, because while we are still having a seat-sharing talk and the Congress doesn't agree to the 11 seats which has been offered by the SP, why did the Samajwadi Party have to go and announce those 16 seats on the presumption that many of them will not be the ones which Congress wants? The second, of course, we've seen a complete breakdown of talks between the Trinamool Congress and the Congress Party in Bengal. In Bihar, of course, we have to start afresh because JDU is no longer a part of it. Now the RJD and the Congress Party will have to hash it out between themselves. And of course, in Punjab, the Aam Aadmi Party has made it very clear, so has the Congress state unit, that they don't want to have any kind of an alliance as far as Punjab goes. So there doesn't seem to be any headway, and the worst part is that no date has yet been fixed on when the next round of seat sharing talks will take place.
Pallavi, if you could also tell our audiences, we've just given our audiences a quick summary of these 3 different states, but the complaints that these parties have, Mamata Banerjee repeatedly saying the top leadership in the Congress didn't want to speak to her. Is that similar to what all the parties are saying?
But actually, to be fair, Toya, the need to have a deadline of seat sharing talks was made by the Aam Aadmi Party, the SP, the TMC way back in December itself. Since then, the deadlines have shifted. I mean, 31st December to end of January. There are many deadlines which have been skipped. We are looking at the beginning of February from tomorrow onwards, which just goes on to show that, you don't have much time left. The BJP has already come out with their ads, their slogans, there's a kind of a clarity on who is going to be contesting from where. But as far as if you look at the India Front Alliance is concerned, where there doesn't seem to be any clarity at all, no inkling on who's going to getting what seat. This is something which many like the TMC and the AAP seem to be having an objection to, because they feel that, we need to begin a campaign early. It certainly helps. We have to hit the ground. But if the Congress Party is going to drag its feet, spend more time on the Bharat Jodo Nyaya Yatra, where is the priority being given to seat sharing talk?
Okay, Pallavi, thank you for bringing us that context. We're going to play out for our audiences more reactions on this story from different political leaders across the spectrum. Take a look.
राम रमेश कांग्रेस के कद्दावर नेता हैं। उन्होंने सीधे सीधे कहा है कि अगर समाजवादी पार्टी को इस तरीके से अपना ही लिस्ट निकालना है तो गठबंधन का क्या मतलब है?
देखिए, समाजवादी पार्टी ने कांग्रेस से बातचीत के बाद ही ये जो लिस्ट है इसको जारी किया था, क्योंकि ये लिस्ट, ये जो प्रत्याशियों की सूची है, इनमें कहीं कोई विवाद नहीं था, इनमें कहीं कोई किसी दूसरे दल की डिमांड भी नहीं थी। तो समाजवादी पार्टी भारतीय जनता पार्टी को हराना चाहती है। हमारे पास लोकसभा चुनाव में समय कम है। देखिए, कांग्रेस से बातचीत के बाद ही ये लिस्ट जारी हुई थी। जब कांग्रेस से बातचीत हो गई थी, कांग्रेस ने एक लंबी चौड़ी लिस्ट दी थी, लेकिन उसके बाद जब टेबल टॉक हुई और इन सीटों पे 11 सीटों पे सहमति बनी, और ये ज़रूर है कि समाजवादी पार्टी अध्यक्ष आदरणीय अखिलेश यादव जी ने कहा था कि हम भरोसे के साथ इस गठबंधन को कर रहे हैं, जिद के साथ नहीं कर रहे हैं। एक आध सीटें वो और चाहते थे, उस पर बाद में चर्चा हो जाएगी, लेकिन फिलहाल 11 सीटें समाजवादी पार्टी और कांग्रेस के बीच बातचीत के बाद ही तय हुई थी। इसलिए ये कहना कि किसी को कोई जानकारी नहीं थी, मैं समझता हूँ कि कांग्रेस के नेताओं को अपने राष्ट्रीय नेतृत्व से एक बार बात ज़रूर करना चाहिए। कांग्रेस अगर ये कहेगी कि हमें 2009 के हिसाब से दे दीजिए, 4 के हिसाब से दे दीजिए, फिर 99 में चले जाइए, तो ऐसे राजनीति नहीं होती। राजनीति वर्तमान में क्या है, वर्तमान में आपकी ज़मीनी हकीकत क्या है, वर्तमान में कौन ऐसा प्रत्याशी है जो जीत सकता है।
ममता जी वहाँ सीट शेयरिंग नहीं कर रही हैं। अखिलेश यादव ने 14 टिकट घोषित कर दिए हैं। क्या मैं पूछना चाहता हूँ अखिलेश यादव से कि ये जो इंडी बन रहा है, क्या उनके लोगों के साथ शुरू करके उन्होंने फिरोजाबाद की टिकट या कन्नौज की या बदायूं की या एटा की या कानपुर देहात की जो सीटें या अपनी इसकी संभल की ये सीटें जो घोषित की हैं, तो क्या इंडी के लोगों ने बैठ के मोहर लगाई है? तो आम आदमी पार्टी ने कहा है वो पंजाब में नहीं देना चाहते हैं। तो मैंने कई बार कहा है कि चाचा चाणक्य ने बहुत साल पहले कहा था कि यदि कोई राजा बहुत ही लोकप्रिय होगा तो उसके खिलाफ, जैसे मोदी जी लोकप्रिय हैं, दुश्मन का दुश्मन हमारे दोस्त के सिद्धांत पर दुर्लभ संधियाँ हुआ करेंगी। ऐसी संधि हो रही थी, लेकिन हनीमून से पहले तलाक की नौबत आ गई है।
Okay, we're shifting our focus now from this story to an update on an INDIA member, the JMM. Over the last 3 days, we've been focusing on the Jharkhand Chief Minister, Hemant Soren, who you might remember the ED arrived to question 2 days ago right here in Delhi. They didn't find him at his residence. Now, yesterday, in a show of strength, he appeared in his car. There'd been a question of where he was. He appeared in his car. The ED, remember, wants to ask him multiple questions on what they're calling a land grab scam. But the ED has also been investigating several cases against him over the last few years, including an illegal sand mining and coal mining case. Now, it's important to point out to you that the Jharkhand Chief Minister has at multiple points said that he's being unfairly targeted by the BJP government in the centre. Now, we do have more context for you on these developments. The big development over the last few hours being that the Chief Minister has now lodged an FIR against the Enforcement Directorate in the SC/ST Act. We have some breaking news in this story. We'll take you to that, then we'll go to reporters. Okay, the breaking news that we're bringing you here, let's go over to it to bring you more details. A show of strength reportedly taking place in Jharkhand. Remember, the Jharkhand Assembly has 80 plus seats, and the Mahagathbandhan in power in the Jharkhand area is the JMM with the Congress with the RJD. Now, we're learning that 42 MLAs as we speak are gathering for a show of strength. We'll bring you more context on this. They're going to be parading the MLAs at the Raj Bhavan. My colleague Saurav is with us right now to bring us context. Saurav, this is as the questioning continues at Soren's residence. Just bring us more context, please.
Yes, all the party MLAs, who are supporting Hemant Soren, all the 42 MLAs are there presently at CM residence, and they have been waiting since the daytime when the ED had arrived at around 1 PM at his residence in Ranchi, and since then the leaders have been arriving over there from the UPA government. All the party MLAs and ministers of the legislature party have arrived there at the CM residence, and they are waiting for the ED questionings to get over. Meanwhile, we are also learning that 2 buses have been called at the CM residence, and it is highly expected that these leaders who are present, who are sitting and waiting over there, they might move to Raj Bhavan anytime soon, because we are learning from our sources that 2 buses are already parked inside the CM residence. So these are the source-based information what our sources are telling from inside the CM house, that the leaders are preparing themselves to go to the Raj Bhavan. Whether or not the permission has been granted or not from Raj Bhavan, but the speculations are made that because the majority of the MLAs are there, and they might move to Raj Bhavan in the 2 buses which are already packed.
Okay, Saurav, if I can actually ask you to stay with us for a second. We'll play out reactions to this story, but because this has been one of the most important stories we've been tracking today, we'll actually come back to you for more questions. First, though, take a look, different reactions coming in.
जो संवैधानिक शक्तियाँ हमको प्राप्त है, उनका सदुपयोग करेंगे और ये सारी परिस्थितियों से हम लोग बिल्कुल मजबूती के साथ इन परिस्थितियों के विरुद्ध खड़े हैं और लोकतांत्रिक मूल्यों को हर कीमत में बचाएंगे, और जो जनता ने बहुमत दिया है, अंतिम पायदान पे जो व्यक्ति खड़े हैं, उनकी आशा विश्वास, उनके जीवन के मूल्यों के उत्थान के लिए सरकार बनी है, वो अपने दायित्व का पूरा निर्वाह करेगी।
कल आपने ट्वीट किया कि 2 लोग ऐसे हैं जो मीटिंग में शामिल नहीं हुए, और जहां हेमंत सोरेन अपनी बीवी को या किसी और को बनाना चाह रहे हैं उसके लिए उन्होंने मना किया। तो अभी क्या स्टेटस है फिलहाल?
नहीं, स्टेटमेंट आ गया कल सीता सोरेन का, मेरे पास स्टेटमेंट है। उसने स्टेटमेंट में खुद ही कहा है कि मैं कल्पना सोरेन को जो है मुख्यमंत्री नहीं मानूंगी, दबाव है हमारे ऊपर, और इसीलिए वो दिल्ली में बैठी हुई है। बसंत सोरेन का लाए नहीं, और टोटल जो उनके 48 विधायक हैं, 48 विधायक में से केवल 35 विधायक थे, 13 विधायक उनके बाहर हैं। तो उनकी जो मंशा थी कल्पना सोरेन जी को बनाने की, वो पूरी नहीं होती हुई दिख रही है मुझे।
1300 किलोमीटर दूर वो बाय रोड गए हैं और कल उन्होंने बैठकें की हैं सबके साथ। आज जो है वो ईडी के पास वो जा रहे हैं, तो आपको लगता है कि जल्द जिस तरह से आप ट्वीट कर रहे हैं, जो आप बोल रहे हैं, वो सच होने वाला है?
ईडी के पास जा नहीं रहे, ईडी उनके पास जा रही है। दूसरा है, उनको भगाने में जो अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने मदद की, जिसका कि मैंने ट्वीट किया है, और इसे बड़े इन्वेस्टिगेशन का विषय है कि कोई भी जो एक्यूज्ड है, जिसको कि सेंट्रल एजेंसी ढूंढ रही है, उसको यदि कोई भगाता है तो उसकी क्या जुर्माना हो सकता है, उसकी क्या सजा हो सकती है, ईडी को जो है सोचना चाहिए।
एक राज्य के मुख्यमंत्री के बारे में जिस तरह की टिप्पणियां और हेडलाइन मैनेजमेंट हो रहा है, वो गले के नीचे नहीं उतरता है। प्रोटोकॉल होता है भाई मुख्यमंत्री का। आप हेडलाइन चला रहे हैं, मुख्यमंत्री फरार, मुख्यमंत्री गायब। ये कौन सा, हमारे लोकतांत्रिक जीवन में ऐसा भी क्षण आएगा, हमने ये सोचा नहीं था।
You know, it used to be said that Jharkhand is a poor state, and certainly the people of Jharkhand have remained poor, because whether it is a Congress MP's house where they are recovering thousands and hundreds of crores from, or the Jharkhand Mukti Morcha head, the Chief Minister's house where they are recovering cash from, it is clear there is rampant corruption in the INDI alliance. The two things that characterize the INDI alliances, three things rather, are: one is corruption, second is appeasement politics, and the third is dynasty politics. These three things are absolutely visible. Recovery of from their own IND alliance partner, Hemant Soren's house, this money and these cars and these Benami properties, points to what an exploitative political culture is present in the IND alliance.
Okay, we're going to bring you more context now with Saurav, who's been reporting this story for us. Saurav, yesterday we brought our audiences images, 36 lakh rupees in cash, and what the ED said were incriminating documents that they'd found in Hemant Soren's Delhi residence. Today, Hemant Soren and the Jharkhand police have registered an FIR against the Enforcement Directorate. It's under the SC/ST Act. In that, he said that his family and him have been caused irreparable psychological damage. He's also in that FIR said that he doesn't own any illicit cash and that he isn't the owner of the BMW. Can you share more details with us, please?
See, Toya, in that particular FIR, he has named Mr. Kapil Raj, Mr. Devrat Jha, Mr. Anupam Kumar, Mr. Aman Patel, and unknown others, all the officers of the Directorate of Enforcement at Ranchi Regional Office, having their office at Hinu in Ranchi. So he has named 4 officers who had gone, and he had mentioned that he was not the owner of the car of the BMW, and he had nothing to do with the illicit cash that was recovered. And in fact, Hemant Soren in the FIR has mentioned several times that these officers are not belonging to scheduled caste or scheduled tribes, and they are trying to institute a false, malicious and vexatious criminal proceedings against him. So Hemant Soren is accusing these officers of humiliating him publicly, and also he has requested in that complaint that his family has been the mental status and in fact the psychological barrier has been they have been hampered. So he has at several places in the FIR he has mentioned that these officers were not belonging to scheduled caste and scheduled tribe, but because he is coming from a scheduled tribe, these officers and the ED has tried to malign his reputation as well as has humiliated him because he is a scheduled tribe. So this FIR has actually given a jolt, we can say, as we see the SC/ST card is being played, and he has mentioned that these officers are not from a scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. This FIR has been registered under SC/ST Act in Ranchi. Remember day before yesterday when these the officers
really lost our connection with my colleague Saurav. Okay, all right, we're going to take you over to reactions right now. We're not able to hear our colleague. Take a look. These are different reactions that continue to come into this story.
सवाल ये उठता है कि झारखंड की जनता
क्या उस पर समझेगी कि इतने पुलिस, इतने महकमे, इतनी सुरक्षा व्यवस्था, इतनी सारी चीज़ें संवैधानिक पद पर रहकर भी इन्हें अपने पर भरोसा नहीं है और वो सीन से आउट हो जाते हैं। जो उन पर आरोप है उसके बारे में ईडी जानना चाहती है। संस्थाएं इसलिए बनाई जाती है और इसलिए काम करती है ताकि जिस भावना के साथ जनता देश में, राज्यों में सरकार बनाती है वो उनके हितों की रक्षा करे।
हेमंत सोरेन जी के साथ में दो डिमेरिट है, एक तो विपक्ष में है, दूसरा आदिवासी है। एक आदिवासी या वनवासी, आरएसएस तो वनवासी कहता है, तो वनवासी की हिम्मत कैसे हुई कि वो मुख्यमंत्री बने रहे और अपनी पार्टी स्थापित करे। जिस तरह से उनको दिखाया जा रहा है कि जैसे गली मोहल्ले में घूमता हुआ डाकू हो, चोर हो, कि हेमंत सोरेन यहाँ नहीं मिले, दिल्ली में नहीं मिले, वहाँ नहीं मिले, जैसे लोग और छुप रहे हैं। उसके बाद में झारखंड में मीटिंग भी किया, तो ये बहुत ही निंदनीय है।
बिहार और झारखंड बंटने के बाद झारखंड आर्थिक रूप से सरप्लस स्टेट था। हालात कितने बदतर हो गए कि राज्य के मुख्यमंत्री को ईडी खोज रहा हो और वो भागते फिर रहे हों, मीटिंग हो रही हो और मीटिंग में अधिकृत किया जाता है कि आप जो भी फैसला लेंगे। यह तो लोकतंत्र के लिए चिंताजनक स्थिति है कि राज्य के मुख्यमंत्री फरारी की अवस्था में और वही अधिकृत कर रहे हैं। तो कैसे विधायक दल अधिकृत कर रहा है ऐसे लोगों को, यह तो समझ से परे है।
The ED questioning started at 1:30. It's 5:40 p.m. right now, and as we speak, it is very much continuing. No signs of stopping anytime soon. What we just showed you right now on the right side of your screens were visuals of buses arriving at his residence. MLAs are now going to be doing a show of strength to show the strength of the Mahagathbandhan in Jharkhand. That's the JMM, the RJD, and of course the Congress. We're going to head into a short break. On the other side, more of the country's top stories. This is The Nation at 5.
India's first breakfast show that wakes up to genuine questions that matter in our life. Like, which is the latest phishing scam you need to be aware about? What careers are in demand? How to have AI write an ace resume? Basically everything you need to know right as you sip that morning coffee. So, set your alarms and get ready to start your day with a breakfast experience like never before. The Breakfast Club with me, Sonal Mehrotra Kapoor, only on CNN News 18.
Brought to you by
because the government is not concerned about the sufferings of the people. People are unable to have their meals. They have no money to pay the electricity bills. They have no money to buy the necessary equipment for their children to go to school. So the whole country is suffering. But government seems to not understand the real situation in the country. So we expect the people to rise. The next election, the election year has already come. Next year, this year, people must think differently and take the correct decisions.
No, we are holding this demonstration because there's a government that are bankrupt of the country. They have no solutions. They are like leeches holding on to power. We ask them to immediately go for an election and let the people decide who should rule the country in the next 5 years.
अम्मा
ನಮಗೆ ಯಾತ್ರೆ ಪವಿತ್ರ ಆದರಣೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಐಕ್ಯ ಅದೇ
because the government is not concerned about the sufferings of the people. People are unable to have their meals. They have no money to pay the electricity bills. They have no money to buy the necessary equipment for their children to go to school. So the whole country is suffering. But government seems to not understand the real situation in the country. So we expect the people to rise. The next election, the election year has already come. Next year, this year, people must think differently and take the correct decisions.
No, we are holding this demonstration because there's a government that are bankrupt of the country. They have no solutions. They are like leeches holding on to power. We ask them to immediately go for an election and let the people decide who should rule the country in the next 5 years.
Welcome back. You're watching The Nation at 5 right here on CNN News 18. We're now taking you to a story that played out today morning right here in the capital. As you might already know, the Parliament budget session has just started. The budget is expected to be presented tomorrow. This is the shortest session and it's the last right before the general elections, which is why all of the messaging we're going to be seeing coming out of it is in particular focus. Earlier today, the Prime Minister addressed the media and then the Parliament. Now, we're going to talk a little bit more about the messaging, the President's message to the Parliament. But before that, what were the key messages that the Prime Minister said today? Number one, right on top, the Prime Minister talked about the opposition. He said that they had a habit of creating ruckus. He also said that the budget presented tomorrow would focus on women empowerment, or Nari Shakti as he called it. Remember, last session of the Parliament, the winter session, you had 141 MPs, the largest ever number, that were suspended. This is after parliamentarians continue to demand that the Home Minister come inside Parliament to give accountability, as they said, after the parliamentary breach that took place in early December. Now we're going to play out different reactions for you, but first, what the Prime Minister had to say.
मैं इतना जरूर कहूंगा कि जिनको आदतन हुड़दंग करने का स्वभाव बन गया है, जो आदतन लोकतांत्रिक मूल्यों का चीरहरण करते हैं, ऐसे सभी माननीय सांसद आज जब आखिरी सत्र में मिल रहे हैं तब जरूर आत्मनिरीक्षण करेंगे। ये बजट सत्र अवसर है, पश्चाताप का भी अवसर है, कुछ अच्छे फुटप्रिंट छोड़ने का भी अवसर है। तो मैं ऐसे सभी माननीय सांसदों से आग्रह करूंगा कि आप इस अवसर को जाने मत दीजिए, उत्तम से उत्तम परफॉर्म कीजिए, देश हित में उत्तम से उत्तम अपने विचारों का लाभ सदन को दें और देश को भी उत्साह और उमंग से भर दें। आज बजट सत्र का आरंभ हो रहा है, तब राष्ट्रपति द्रौपदी मुर्मू जी का मार्गदर्शन और कल निर्मला सीतारमण जी के द्वारा इंटरिम बजट एक प्रकार से ये नारी शक्ति के साक्षात्कार का पर्व है। आप तो जानते ही हैं कि जब चुनाव का समय निकट होता है तब आमतौर पर पूर्ण बजट नहीं रखा जाता है। हम भी उसी परंपरा का निर्वाह करते हुए पूर्ण बजट नई सरकार बनने के बाद आपके समक्ष लेकर के आएंगे।
ये कहना कि लोगों को याद नहीं रहेगा, ये बहुत दुख की बात है, पीड़ा की बात है कि जो चुनकर आए हुए एमपीज हैं, आप उनके बारे में इस तरीके की बयानबाजी कर रहे हैं। और प्रधानमंत्री जी 10 साल की बात कर रहे हैं, 10 साल में वो भी थोड़ा आत्मचिंतन करें कि कितनी बार देश के प्रधानमंत्री ने संसद की गरिमा बढ़ाकर संसद में भागीदारी ली है। मणिपुर हो या जीएस बाकी सारे मुद्दे हों, अडानी का मुद्दा हो, पेगासस का मुद्दा हो, किसी पे प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी ने अपनी चुप्पी नहीं तोड़ी और ना ही उन्होंने ये ठीक समझा कि वो पार्लियामेंट में आए भी। तो उम्मीद करती हूँ 10 साल के कार्यकाल में वो भी अपनी पार्लियामेंट्री पार्टिसिपेशन पे ध्यान देंगे।
देखिए, भारत की जो वास्तविक सच्चाई थी उसकी झलक आज हमें आदरणीय राष्ट्रपति जी की वक्तव्य में नहीं दिखाई दी। समाज में विभिन्न जो अशांति का वातावरण, चाहे वो जम्मू कश्मीर में हो, मणिपुर में हो, उसकी झलक नहीं दिखी। तो कहीं न कहीं ऐसा लगता है कि सरकार ने देश की जो सच्चाई है उसको छुपाने के लिए, दबाने के लिए पूरी कोशिश की। और जिस प्रकार से चंडीगढ़ के मेयर के इलेक्शन में लोकतंत्र को कुचला गया, उसी प्रकार से देश की जो आर्थिक सामाजिक समस्याएं हैं उसको भी दबाने का काम आज हमें इस भाषण में दिखाई दिया।
Okay, we are shifting focus right now. We're taking you from developments in the Parliament to a big breaking story that we're getting regarding the RBI. The RBI has just put out a set of announcements regarding Paytm. Essentially, beyond a certain date inside February, certain deposits will not be allowed. So you won't. Now, we'll just bring you more clarity on exactly what this is. Essentially, they've barred Paytm Payments Bank from accepting deposits, top-ups in any customer accounts and wallets and FASTags after February 20. 29th. That's the date that we wanted to bring you. Now, we'll have a reporter joining us to bring us clarity on this. Abhishek Kotari is with us. Abhishek, thank you for joining us here. Abhishek, can you just tell our audiences very quickly, Paytm under the RBI scanner, we knew that, but can you just tell us a little bit more about exactly what's going to be taking place in the end of February? Can Paytm still be used for regular transactions that aren't wallets, for example?
This action that RBI has taken is against Paytm Payments Bank. So they have done a comprehensive system audit report and subsequent compliance validation of the external auditors, which has revealed that there is persistent non-compliance and continued material supervisory concerns in Paytm Payments Bank, which warrants further supervisory action. Hence, RBI has directed Paytm Payments Bank as follows. No further deposit or credit transaction or top-ups will be allowed in any customer account. Withdrawal of utilization of balances should be permitted to customers up to their available balance. So customers can use their money to withdraw and utilize the money as and when they do. No further banking services, irrespective of name and nature of services, shall be offered by Paytm Payments Bank. Nodal accounts of 197 Communications Limited, which is the parent company Paytm, and Paytm payment services are to be terminated at the earliest or
Abhishek,
by 29th
just break that down for our audiences though. Does that mean that Paytm wallets etc. can't be used but transactions can, or will everything be stopped?
Only those accounts linked with payment bank that will be terminated. So settlement of all pipeline transaction and nodal accounts shall be completed by 15 March 2024 and no further action shall be permitted thereafter. So all the accounts who are using Paytm Payments Bank, those accounts will be shut. So deposit accretion in Paytm will actually get affected a lot, and this is a strict RBI action because this means literally.
Okay, thank you for bringing us those details. With that, we are drawing our show to a close. This was The Nation at 5 right here on CNN News 18. Thank you for joining us.
Welcome everyone. Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. The drama over Rahul Gandhi's Nyaya Yatra in Bengal is just not ending. If it wasn't enough that ally partner Mamata Banerjee shrugged off the yatra, did counter yatras, refused to do any seat sharing even as the Congress was entering the state, today local Congress unit blamed the ruling TMC for alleged stone pelting on Rahul's car as it went back into Bengal for a bit. While TMC vehemently denied this and blamed Congress State Chief Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary for defaming Bengal, the national leadership of the Congress downplayed the incident and absolved the TMC. It is still hoping to turn around an angry Mamata Banerjee. The Bengal Chief Minister on her part attacked the Congress again today. All of the missives being sent by the Congress clearly don't seem to be having any impact. So despite what top leadership may say about their camaraderie and relationship, this is hardly painting a picture of allyship for the India bloc parties. Remember, Samajwadi Party has released its own list in UP even as Congress maintains negotiations were still on. Clearly, nobody is on the same page and regional partners are sending a message that it will not go as Congress pleases. Has it come down to such an extent where allies are actually adversaries now? And with what face will such parties ask for a joint vote against the BJP in the Lok Sabha polls? We take that question to our guests in just a bit. First up, I want to break down how there's an open war continuing between the TMC and the Congress party in the state of West Bengal. So, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary today claimed that Rahul Gandhi's vehicle has been attacked. It was re-entering West Bengal from Bihar. His car's windshield was broken near Malda. The Congress chief said this was due to alleged stone pelting, only for the Congress to clarify that the glass broke due to some emergency brakes being applied. This has prompted the TMC to accuse Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary of peddling fake news against the state. Now, Rahul Gandhi, remember, during his Bengal leg of the yatra had said that Congress's ties with Mamata Banerjee are good and arguments do not disrupt the larger agenda of the alliance. Today, though, Mamata Banerjee, who was in Malda, blamed the Congress for not doing anything for the region despite having 2 seats there. Days after Mamata announced that she would go solo in Bengal and snap ties, Jairam Ramesh today expressed hope that the India partners will still fight together in the state. But Mamata Banerjee has continued to be unsparing in her attack on the Congress-CPM combined. Today she said that these two parties coming together and staying together is basically clearing the ground for the BJP. It's not just Bengal, other allies too seem to be impatient with Congress's delay tactics, as they are suggesting, on seat sharing and a little bit more. Some would say big brother attitude, but essentially it is delay in seat sharing. Other parties want to get on with it, but Congress is somehow delaying it. So Samajwadi Party has released their own first list of candidates. This list includes candidates for 16 Lok Sabha seats coming up. 3 members of the Yadav Parivar also find place in the first list, and of course a lot of those connected with the family. But curiously, this list has been put out even as negotiations are continuing with the Congress party. And remember, the Samajwadi Party had earlier also unilaterally announced that it is sparing only 11 seats for the Congress party. Now, Congress is quite upset but is unable to make a scene against its own ally. They had hoped to get at least 3 to 5 seats in the first list of the SP. From former allies to former partners, Rahul Gandhi and the Congress seem to be on a bit of a back foot on multiple fronts, because Nitish Kumar, who recently jumped the ship and dumped the India bloc to rejoin NDA, fired a sharp response to Rahul Gandhi's remarks on Bihar caste survey. Yesterday, Rahul, while addressing a rally in Bihar's Purnia, had claimed that it was the Congress that had pressured Nitish and RJD for a caste survey. In response, Nitish Kumar has come out today simply just to say that if some people are trying to take fake credit, let it be. Rahul had gone on to say that the bloc does not need Nitish Kumar to ensure social justice in the state. The Bihar Chief Minister reminded Congress that it was he who conducted a caste survey with 9 other parties. Rahul Gandhi had claimed that Nitish wanted a way out of conducting the caste census, and perhaps the BJP has given him a way out of that, and that is why he has jumped on that opportunity. Nitish once again reminded Congress that it was he who had met Prime Minister in 2020 to raise the demand for a caste survey. So he has been steadfast with this issue. The simple question we asked today is just this: barely a month or so before the next elections could get announced, has the India bloc been derailed to the extent that allies are now adversaries?
জানাই এবং বিজেপির সাথে আমাদের যে লড়াই চলবে, আমরা একাই লড়ব। বিজেপিকে কেউ যদি ভারতবর্ষ পরাস্ত করতে পারে,
बेहतर होगा कि सब एक ही आवाज में बोले। एक तरफा नहीं हो सकता, एक तरफा घोषणा नहीं हो सकता।
हमने सबको बुलाया तो हमने किया है जी। आज जितना काम किए, जितनी बहाली किए हैं, और उसी के चलते कर रहे थे, कोई अपना क्लेम करता है।
Let's go across to the guests joining us. Meeta Chakrabarti is spokesperson of the Congress Party. Tawseefur Rahman from the TMC. Pradeep Bhati is joining us from the Samajwadi Party. I'm also joined with Tushar Gupta, journalist and political analyst, with us. Meeta, let me begin with you first up. The Congress seems to be a little confused whether it wants to blame the TMC or not, but I'll leave that aside. Given what has happened, the TMC has accused that the Congress's state chief, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, has got some sort of a contract to defame Bengal. We know there's no love lost as far as Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, the state unit of the Congress and the TMC is concerned. But what is the message that this is sending out? Regardless of what Jairam Ramesh, Rahul Gandhi, Mamata Banerjee may say, this is not how friends behave.
Good evening to all your viewers and good evening to all the fellow co-panelists as well. Now, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, our PCC president in West Bengal, his stand about TMC or his opinion of Mamata Banerjee has been consistent and has been the same over the past 10 years. It's not something that has happened overnight. Yes, for the national context, for the larger picture, to safeguard the constitution of the country and the secular fabric of the nation, and for a common minimum program, we decided to come together and form the India Alliance bloc. And that has been there, and the discussions are ongoing. However, to say that Mr. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary is saying something that he hasn't said before is completely factually incorrect. Bear in mind that even in 2021, Congress and left parties have fought against the TMC. Even in 2019, in the last Lok Sabha election, that has been the case. After 2011 election, TMC and Congress had not been in an alliance in West Bengal. Yes, right now, because of a national picture for the larger good, there are discussions about there are discussions ongoing about a seat sharing arrangement and about either a pre-poll arrangement or a post-poll arrangement in the state of West Bengal. But to say
No, you're
that
right.
people
I'm not
are surprised by Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary.
I'm not saying at all that
is
anybody
factually
should be
incorrect.
surprised by what Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary is saying. I said that we know there is no love lost between your state unit and the TMC in Bengal. The problem that the TMC is raising, though, is that once you decided to come together with us, as we're sitting down on the same table, why is your leadership continuing to attack us? To the extent that today, initially the Congress seemed to blame the TMC for the stone pelting, alleged stone pelting on Rahul Gandhi's convoy.
Law happens to be a state subject. Law and order, the state administration is responsible. Rahul Gandhi ji is one of the tallest leaders of the Congress party and one of the tallest and most respected leaders nationally. He has come to the state of West Bengal for his Bharat Jodo Nyaya Yatra. He is traveling across 15 states, across 6,713 kilometers, 110 districts, seeking justice. So in this yatra, if there is any disruption or any problem, then obviously we will seek help and support from the local administration. There's nothing surprising about it.
Okay, nothing surprising should not be taken as some sort of an adversarial attitude. I have to bring in Tausifur Rahman here. What's really happening? And Tausif, like I said to the Congress spokesperson, your leaders may have camaraderie and respect for each other, but for the average public, this is not two allies. There is no such thing as, you know, fighting at the state level and somehow allies at the national level before elections have taken place and before you send out a message to the larger country that we are all together. At least the parties have to accept today, whatever their differences may be, but that larger message is in tatters. Who's going to believe that TMC or Congress are on the same page?
Shivani, first thing first. Good evening to everyone. First thing first, you know, the Congress and your viewers should know one thing, that the multiple spokespersons from his own party have refuted all the allegations of Rahul Gandhi being attacked in Bengal. It was attacked in Katihar. First thing, we have to deny that the attack didn't happen in Bengal at all. Now, of course, I was hearing Meeta ji. She was saying that this is nothing new where Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary continuously attacking Trinamool Congress, Mamata Bandyopadhyay, Abhishek Bandyopadhyay. It's not been 2 years, 3 years. Of course, he's attacking Bengal government from last 10 years. But at the same time, when you hear Kharge's word, when you hear Rahul ji's word, Kharge ji's word, Sonia Gandhi ji's word, Jairam Ramesh ji's word, it is totally different. So I don't understand whether the central Congress and the Bengal unit Congress is working together or not.
That's the question I'm asking. If you are not understanding this, then how will the public?
Shivani, is Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary working for Bhajpa in Bengal? We have to be very clear, because all these whiles, even with you also, I had a talk when you told me, Tausif, how this alliance going to work where Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary wants emergency in Bengal.
Yes.
I gave you a rebuttal that yes, we must have local issues in Bengal, but we have to keep this aside because it's about a national issue. We have to fight against the undemocratic things happening in India. But again, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary doesn't seem to stop anywhere. He wants emergency in Bengal. He says TMC chor hai. He says Mamata Banerjee apna chalati hai. So this is what we want to know. It's been 180 days or 200
Meeta
days.
wants to come in.
We have been waiting for Congress for the strategies. Where are the strategies? What about seat sharing? What about tickets? There is nothing discussed. I congratulate Rahul Gandhi for such a successful yatra. But again, sir, you have to understand, we have some kind of portion in national politics. We are not Tom, Dick and Harry. TMC have some portions in Rajya Sabha and Member of Parliament as well.
Okay, let Meeta come in. Meeta wants to respond. What is going on? This is becoming really awkward and bizarre.
Of all the things that Congress party has been accused of in different platforms, I don't think in any platform we have ever been accused of being BJP's B team. If there's one political organization that is fighting against the fascist, divisive, hate politics of BJP in every single state, in every single corner of India, make no mistake, Indian National Congress is the organization. Sir, please do not interrupt me. I did not interrupt you.
No, you need to talk with Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary.
So we are fighting against BJP. Can you please not interrupt me? Please wait for your turn,
because
sir.
if you are saying something, it should be counted. It should be accountable. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary is the biggest problem in Congress.
If there is one political organization that is fighting the communal divisive politics of BJP in every corner of India, then
He's
that
talking
organization
nonsense
is Indian
with
National
the team
Congress.
he wants alliance to.
We are by
Geeta ji.
no way linked to the BJP, not in the state of West Bengal, not in
But
any
what he
state
wants
of
then?
India.
If
So make no
Rahul ji,
mistake,
Kharge ji
the
wants an
reason why
alliance
we
with Trinamool
chose
Congress,
to come on the
what
same
kind of alliance
platform,
does he seek
this
so?
is no way to do a debate. I would request the anchor to please interject.
Meeta ji,
I want to know what Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary wants.
Okay, one second. You made that point.
So if
Tasi,
you
you
allow me
asked
to
that
speak,
question.
maybe I'll
Let her
explain.
respond. But Meeta ji, in 30 seconds, this is a question.
Yes.
I mean, whatever your internal differences are, they would be internal differences, party matters, inter-party matters. It wouldn't be anybody's concern. The only reason this is being discussed in the media and being debated is because you simultaneously also make a claim that somehow we are together nationally.
And Shivani, I'll give you a very important message from
very quickly. Tasi, very quickly, then
Yes.
Meeta ji responds. Yes.
So from the very
After the Lok
beginning,
Sabha polls, Shivani, listen to me.
Please,
Again,
can
it's
you
a
give
national
me my
news.
turn? Can you
After
please
the
wait
Lok
for your
Sabha
turn?
polls,
This is no way
if
to have
INC
conduct a debate.
1 second. Meeta ji, I'm coming to you. Tasi, finish 10
Meeta
seconds.
ji, please, I'm really sorry. Listen to me. After the Lok Sabha polls, if the INC does their job and defeats the BJP in those 300 seats, we will very much be a part of the front
But that's
that fights to
convenient.
preserve the democracy and the constitution of India.
But that's very
And
convenient.
again, we are there.
You
We are
have to
there.
put your
But
money
what
where
about
your
Adhir
mouth
Ranjan
is.
Chaudhary?
Show the faith before the results come out. After results, everybody can decide. That's not being a friend. Anyways, let Meeta ji respond. Tasif, let Meeta respond. Tasif, please yield now. Meeta.
Okay. So first of all, I don't think Congress has ever been accused of being BJP's B team. In the history of Indian National Congress, it has never happened. So we are not BJP's B team. We do not have any kind of understanding in the state of West Bengal. Let
Right.
me make it very clear. Number two, in the national context, to fight against the fascist rule of the BJP central government, against their communal divisive politics, we have come together. We have got a common minimum program, a common vision that we are bringing
What
to
is
the
the
table.
common minimum program?
And
Once again.
that we are bringing, we are talking
Where is
about
this common minimum
joblessness.
program? Meeta ji, nobody's seen the common minimum program.
I will tell you. I'll tell you what our main issues are. We are talking about the high rate of unemployment. We are talking about price rise. We are talking about the institutes being jeopardized and being monopolized by the BJP central
And you
government.
are calling Derek
We are
O'Brien as a
talking
foreigner.
about political inequality. These are the main issues that
I
we are
get that,
focusing
ma'am,
on.
but there is no common minimum
And these are
program
the reasons
published
why we have
and
got
publicized to
together.
the public.
And along with TMC, since you have been asking about TMC, we are still in discussion with TMC. Very soon, we will come to a conclusion.
Calling Derek
And
O'Brien
as
as
our
a
AICC
foreigner?
president made it very clear.
Well,
right
Adhir
from the
Ranjan Chaudhary
beginning
apologized
that there
for
will
that
be
remark.
states where we
Tasif,
will
let
have
bygones
pre-poll
be bygones.
And states where we will have post-poll alliances.
Okay, 1 second. You say you're still in negotiations. That is my absolute perfect segue to go to Pradeep Bhati of the Samajwadi Party. Still in negotiations with Samajwadi Party in Uttar Pradesh, but Samajwadi Party has already released their list of 16 candidates. Pradeep Bhati, are you also... Is it fair to say the Samajwadi Party is also now impatient? They're no longer going to just keep waiting for the Congress Party? Because they say you shouldn't have done this in hush-hush tones. You shouldn't have gone ahead and released this list when officially you are still in negotiations with them.
Thanks, Shivani, and good evening to all. Look, Shivani, many hands make light work. It's not an Herculean task to beat BJP. In our India alliance, all parties have a substantial vote bank, and they are all working, they are very strong in their own states. So we are working with Congress. The alliance is very much alive. We are all together going to fight BJP. And regarding the seat sharing, that is again the next step that going to happen. So because the time is running fast, and we all are working towards to achieve our goal in the limited time we have. See, I'll say one thing, that for BJP side, these people are trying hard to do whatever they can do to divide this alliance and to distract us from all the issues that is more important for the people of this country.
One second, how is the BJP dividing the allies? One second, Pradeep Bhati, how is the BJP dividing the allies?
See, that what has happened in Bihar also, this is one example. They have already divided the Shiv Sena. They have done the same thing with NCP. So the BJP is good in that. But I'll say that the वक्त बहुत नाजुक है, हम पर हमले दर हमले हैं, और दुश्मन का दर्द यही हम हर हमले पे संभले हैं. So the people of this country are getting united, and they are forming their alliance. It's not the parties they are forming the alliance. The people of this country
Mr. Bhati, क्या ये कहना सही होगा? नहीं, क्या ये कहना सही होगा? नहीं, one second, क्या ये कहना सही होगा कि आपने जो एक तरफा लिस्ट रिलीज कर दिया वो गलत था?
See, we have not somewhere we have not closed that list. Our honorable Adhyaksh Akhilesh Yadav ji has already said that if there is they are candidates that BJP thinks that they can win the election, or there is a combination that fits for that particular candidate that Congress can win and fight that election, we are very much open for that. So nothing is getting close. But at the same time, we have to see that the time is limited, so we have to work. All the candidates have to work and have to again go to the people of this of their constituencies. So definitely we'll have that limited time. We'll work on that. But the important point what I was making, because we are all talking about India alliance. What about the NDA alliance? There is one person, sab pe bhari, but still there is a total silence about the with 38 alliances, but total silence about their sheet sharing and the other whether it's a common minimum program, or they are nobody is talking about that alliance.
Okay,
but
because I think the contours of the alliance, the contours,
people of this country are more relying on the.
No, fair enough. The contours of those two alliances are very different. In the NDA, the BJP is the clear, big party. In the India alliance, there are many competing interests. In NDA, there is no confusion about who's the leading party plus who's the leader. In the India alliance, there are many firsts amongst equals, if I can say so. So that is why it has special interest versus what the NDA may be doing. But you're right, the NDA, you could argue that the NDA also has an announced seat sharing in states where they have allies, and hasn't really done that spade work quite like the India alliance. Tushar Gupta, the larger question that arises is this: the messaging that we are going to fight tooth and nail in states, but we are somehow together at the national level. How does that message work?
Though that message comes across as bizarre, Shivani, just when the first two panelists were speaking, it appeared to me for a moment that we were in a family court, settling dispute between two dysfunctional family members. I mean, Congress, look at their position. They are embarrassing their state's biggest leader, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary. Adhir Ranjan makes one claim about the alleged attack on the car. The Congress makes another statement, very well knowing that it would embarrass his position in the state against Mamata Banerjee. Yet they go ahead and do that. The Congress spokesperson just did that. TMC, I mean, in all fairness to them, they have been asking the right questions. That it's been 4 months. What about the seat sharing? How can your leader in the state call one of our leaders as foreigner or make such claims about violence and then expect the coalition to happen? Look, the public is not stupid. The alliance members may feel that they can take the public for a ride. but the public sees it very, very clearly. You cannot have a cadre not working together at the state level, but suddenly when the Lok Sabha elections arrive, they're working together.
No, but Tushar, could it be that in any case, TMC has nothing to do with rest, seats outside of Bengal? They're more majorly focused in Bengal. It's not like their cadre is going to be very effective outside of Bengal or they have a role to play. So in any case, whatever was to happen is the impact between TMC and Congress is in Bengal. I think the left factor is very key here, and somehow that's getting ignored in the very public spat between Congress and TMC, but the left is a big issue in Bengal as well. But if I leave that aside for a moment, could it be that yes, you fight for your seats in states, but nationally there's no fight between Congress and TMC, so it doesn't impact them. Their leaders can still be on the same stage.
But Shivani, here's the thing. Why would the leaders be on the same stage? Unlike Mamata Banerjee, Akhilesh Yadav or Lalu Prasad Yadav, what does Rahul Gandhi have? Can Rahul Gandhi walk into any constituency today and win? No, he cannot, because he's not going back to Amethi. In fact, we are hearing rumors that Sonia Gandhi may not go back to Raebareli. Can Rahul Gandhi win one state at his own, at his own talent? No, he cannot. But Mamata Banerjee, Akhilesh Yadav and Lalu Prasad Yadav can do that. Can Rahul Gandhi work with one state partner together, form a coalition? No, he cannot. All the coalitions that are working for the Congress today are the legacy coalitions. That is why they do not have a problem with the DMK, but they're having a problem with the Aam Aadmi Party. So the alliance partners are asking this very fundamental question, that what does Rahul Gandhi bring to the table? He brings absolutely nothing.
Let me give 30 seconds.
Just pointed out. Yeah. No, Shivani, 1 second. The TMC spokesperson just pointed out that if the Congress can win on those 300 seats, against
then
the BJP, they might be interested. Yes, but that's a fair point.
And
if the
Shivani,
Congress can,
I mean, the matter is different. I'll tell you.
Let me complete.
Yeah.
If the Congress cannot win on the seats that it traditionally won, why is it hoping for any alliance with the alliance partners? Why would regional parties give up their
I get your point, but I'm saying that can this be a new mix where you are still competitive at the state level, but at the national level, your leadership can be turned? You're saying it cannot be.
Shivani, if it had to work, it would have worked in Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh or Rajasthan in December.
I have 30 seconds.
It did not work.
I have actually 20 seconds. Meeta ji, I'll just give you 20 seconds because most questions are coming to Congress. Are you being too late in deciding things? 20 seconds, ma'am.
I don't think so. This kind of discussion, they do take time. And as our AICC president has made it amply clear, that we will do a state-by-state strategy. There will be states, like for example in Kerala, where we will have a post-poll arrangement, post-poll alliance.
Only here.
Post-poll arrangement, and then there will be states, in most of the states we'll have a pre-poll alliance.
I get that, ma'am. The question is timing. Yeah, and your opponents, your ally partners are getting very nervous about how much time is going.
Very soon you will have the final results.
Okay, very soon, final seat sharing. I have run out of time.
Will be highlighted.
I do thank all of our guests for joining us for our first debate. Coming up on the other side, it's a big win for Hindu side in the Kashi Vishwanath Gyanvapi Mosque case. Vyas Tehkhana will be opened up for prayers a week after ASI findings were also made public, with the temple existing before conclusion. Will the Kashi truth be finally accepted? We've got special guests joining us in just a bit.
Co-powered by
ನಮಗೆ ಅಪೇ ಪವಿತ್ರ ಜ್ಞಾನತ್ವಾದ ಆದರಣೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಐಕ್ಯ ಅದೇ
Because the government is not concerned about the sufferings of the people. People are unable to have their meals. They have no money to pay the electricity bills. They have no money to buy the necessary equipment for their children to go to school. So the whole country is suffering. But government seems to not understand the real situation in the country. So we expect the people to rise. The next election, the election year has already come. Next year, this year, people must think differently and take the correct decisions.
No, we are holding this demonstration because there's a government that are bankrupt of the country. They have no solutions. They are like leeches holding on to power. We ask them to immediately go for an election and let the people decide who should rule the country in the next 5 years.